Hello,
Hey,
hello, my
man.
friends. It
Oh, there we
is
go.
me, Pike Wazowski, and yeah, it's getting started. I think we are immediately jumping to the draft, so let me
No
pick
time to
my.
wait.
I know they're just zooming.
Why
So,
not? We'll get right into it. We should have a good one today, Pike. Cadfire versus Yumi's Doms. These guys actually just played against each other on the 16th. It was a 2-1 victory for Cadfire, even though they lost the first game. So a little reverse sweep action. So these teams know
mhm.
each other quite well. Should be an interesting one to say the least.
Yeah, it really should be for sure. As the bans are coming, uh, quite quick and quite hot. Did
Yep.
put
So we
the
got
OBS custom drafter. It appears to not be showing anything. You guys give me 1 second, it'll go. Cadfire's banned Caitlin Lulu. Um, Yumi's Doms, which is put in as YS because funny, is currently banning Yunara and Vayne. I will have the regular draft capture up in just a second.
Yeah, and I'll try to walk you through a little bit of it. So, Galio is the third and final ban for Yumi's Doms. As on Cadfire's side, their third and final is going to be that Renekton, taking that away from the top side of Greater. And then we have Wukong coming in as the first pick for the red side of Yumi's Doms.
You see Mr. Monkey King, also known as Wukong. Presumably, we find him hanging out in the jungle. Um, I mean, he can go top, right? I'm not gonna like completely crap on the idea of a Wukong top, but he is much more popular in the jungle right now for sure. So probably expect to see him Lee Sin as a counter by Drew. And
Wow.
we haven't talked too much about Drew, but Drew is kind of the new hotness for CAD Fire. Dean Cookies was replaced by Drew uh fairly recently, I believe. Which
Yeah, I
is
actually think this is Drew's first game.
yeah, so kind of a bit of a confidence pick. Don't really expect to see um you don't really expect to see Lee Sin in competitive games because if you don't have that like playmaking, that killer instinct in you, play on words for Kaisa there, you're just gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle to make a big difference. Wukong will outplay you by simply pressing Cyclone in team fights, and it can be tough. We see a Morgana come out, kind of in there to prevent insects, and we see Master Yi, and all of a sudden this game, don't tell me.
I don't
Okay,
know if that's going to be
we we
locked in.
we
Yeah, I
wandered.
know.
I was about to say we wandered back into the realm of normalcy. Belveth?
Yeah,
Okay, they're tempting me. They're tempting me, Pancake Man.
yeah, they here comes a Teemo hover at some point for sure. But yeah, we're seeing the Lee Sin, the gauntlet being thrown down. The Wukong was actually picked in the first game of their series last week.
Yeah,
That is a priority for the side of Yumi's Doms, and they're gonna round out the bot lane with the Zaya, pairing that up with the Morgana. We'll see what the side of Cadfire decides to answer with.
a lot of safety for Zaya here. She kind of has her ult already to dodge the Lee Sin insec. Morgana is that extra layer of safety, right? The Lee Sin ult does not penetrate Morgana's black shield, so he can't reposition you. You have the Zaya ult to keep yourself safe as like a safety valve. As Ornn comes in, just a big chonky tank, blind picked, and here's the key. Since CAD Fire is able to pick Ornn blind, they can also ban anything that Olafa Bread may not want to see top 2 counter Ornn. Master Yi gets banned. Is this some like 5 head like mind games by Yumi's for showing it, or is this just something I'm out of the loop on? Please, Pancake, enlighten me.
Yeah, so uh Naga does play it into the jungle. I don't know if
Okay.
Greater would play it top into the Ornn. I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we should see some top lane bans eventually come through for the side of Cadfire. And on the flip side, for Yumi's Doms, some support bans, as there is a mismatch in picks after this first round.
Yeah, absolutely. The Nautilus band, kind of interesting because Morgana is naturally decent against some of these champs
Hmm.
who rely like an all-in hook. But the key is when you're playing Morgana against something like Nautilus or Thresh, the onus is on you to outplay the Nautilus or Thresh player because if they land the hook and you're not like on the ball with landing your E to prevent your ADC from getting deleted, you kind of just lose anyways. And Morgana can feel um very isolated by them, especially by Nautilus, because he could potentially cure your ADC. The Black Shield blocks the ADC from getting pulled, but Nautilus still goes halfway because he pulls himself in, right? And
Yep.
then he can walk up and auto you if you're not careful, and you might just get killed anyways, especially with like a Kaisa. The plasma can stack really quickly. So I understand it as a ban. Aurora comes out of CAD Fire, and we're already on our last ban. Pike goes away. Not a fan of the hookers, the Hook Club, Yumi's Doms, or YS, as Olafa Bread maybe intentionally mind gamed incorrect name in our drafter for us. As we'll see what CAD Fire wants to pick. No real top lane bans, so Olaf is left completely to the tender mercies of Greater as Rel. Wow. Rel gets picked instead.
Yeah, don't mind the rel pick. It does synergize well with the Kaisa still. You have a very beefy side for the beefy team for the side of CAD Fire. You're gonna definitely need some more damage from the side of Yumi's Doms. What do you see coming through here in the top lane and the mid lane for Yumi's Doms?
Yumi's Doms needs to pick something safe, because what I really think is Rel is not playing to threaten Xayah Morgana particularly, especially when Xayah hits 6. What Rel's actually doing is playing to roam to mid lane. Oh my god. Nami locked.
Wow, that is locked
Your
in.
Honor, I'd like to retract that statement, because now Rel is very threatening to that lane.
Those bans now make sense.
Yes, the bans now make sense. It's that Morgana mid mayhaps. Um, yeah. Or it
Okay,
could be
shot in the dark.
Wukong. It
Could
could be
this be a
Wukong top.
Morgana top?
It could be Wukong top Morgana jungle as well. Morgana's actually quite decent. J4.
I have no
Wow.
clue. Hands up.
Okay.
I don't know. Are
Wukong
they
top
like
Morgana
spinning a
mid
wheel at this
J4
point?
jungle. Wow. Wow. And J4 actually has anti synergy. Ornn actually cracks J4's Cataclysm, can
Yes.
open up an escape pipe for his teammates to walk out of. But here's my question to you, Pancake. Who even needs it? Kaisa has ult. Lee Sin is Lee Sin. We see an Ari pick out of CAD Fire. And I mean, if you're ulting a Rel, wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, that doesn't
That
make as
draft
much
went from
sense.
like kind of normal to freaking crazy in 2 seconds as we see the role confirm come out.
Well, so then here's the question for you. I think I already know the answer. Are you leading CAD Fire for this draft? Or does the craziness of Yumi's Doms kind of interest you?
Um, just to confirm, obviously CAD fires the way we thought it was. Uh, Yumi's Doms is a Wukong top. Wukong top
Yep.
is really, really interesting of a champ, because he actually pierces your armor early, and he can make Ornn quite uncomfortable because he has lots of mobilities, just a slippery dude, um, and can put in a lot of pressure. However, the onus is kind of on Wukong to like get a lead and get ahead so he can affect these team fights properly. Because Morgana mid's damage, if the problem with Morgana mid, the damage is not good if you can't lock someone down, because it's the black pool damage, right? And it's the black pool kind of mini executes. It does a lot of damage if you stand on it. So she's either needing to land a naked Q, which is very, very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Optimistic, that people don't eat raw Morgana Qs.
Yep.
Nowadays. It's not a good idea when you're trying to do that consistently. So you kind of need this J4, Wukong, Nami wave, like all this stuff coming together in the pool, and then you blow up the enemy team. But look at the mobility out of Fire. Oh my goodness. They've
Yep.
got Ornn, they've got Kaisa, they've got Ari, they got Rel. Everybody on the team can walk out of a J4 ult. Even Ornn. You might say, well, how can Ornn? He can break out of the Cataclysm. If Ornn has E, he can E into a Cataclysm and walk away. With the Unstoppable, he could potentially, unstoppable through multiple layers of CC and try to bail. But if you're spending all this on Ornn and you're not 1v5 like ganking him, you're wasting your time in a team fight anyways. Rel's just going to jump your backline and murder them. So this looks very execution heavy out of Yumi's Doms, I gotta say, or YS. I don't know. How are
Yeah,
you feeling, Pancake?
I think CAD still need to be very, very careful. As much as
Mm-hmm.
they do have the mobility, there is a lot of catch potential on the side of Yumi's Doms.
Yeah.
I can see a Nami wave into a Morgana Q, into a Wukong ult, into a Jarvan EQ. and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter how mobile you are, you've been CC'd for 4 straight seconds, and you're dead. So,
Yeah.
definitely gonna need to be some caution for the side of CAD Fire, but I agree with you, I definitely think they have the easier executable comp on their side.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll just straight up ask you, game 1, Fire versus Yuumi's Doms, who do you got post-draft?
I'm gonna say CAD Fire. I don't know. I think it's kind of tough. I think the one thing I really don't like here is Morgana mid. I kind of wish they picked something like Victor. You know what I mean? Some of the more
A little more control in the mid
yeah,
lane.
just a little more control and a little less reliant on things working out. I can just see a world where this gets really ugly because you're dealing with a team that can walk around and you could end up actually dealing not enough damage as Morgana and kind of being a second support. And that can get really dangerous really quickly. That's my only worry.
Yep,
Um
and we saw a game, I think, earlier today,
mhm.
um, that we had a similar worry as we were in the watch party chat watching, can't remember who it was, but, and we were worried about, in this game.
Yeah. Sorry, I muted you for just a second. Say that one more time. I am
Yeah, so
clicking bad
we
buttons.
we definitely lack of damage is a worry for the side of Yumi's Doms. If this Xayah and this Wukong don't get ahead and don't get some items to come through, this side might struggle for some damage with a Nami, with a Morgana, and with a Jarvan. So definitely going to need to try to press their advantages early on. But with that being said, we are going to deal with our spectator delay. And so we will
Yeah.
be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Guys, can't wait to see it go. But yeah, spectator delay, I believe, is currently sitting at 1 minute. So we will be in and out real quick. Just get the loading screen done. Cannot wait to see you in game. Guys, this is a playoff. Super exciting. The loser's not out of the tournament, but they go into losers. And when you're in losers playoffs, one loss and you're out. Not, not one game, but one series loss and you're out. So this one is super important. Can't wait to see you guys. We're going to wait for the rest of the spectator delay as well as the loading screen, and we'll be right in. See you guys in a little bit. I'm in. Hello, hello, my friends. we are finally back. I told you it wouldn't be too long. Sorry, had to, enjoy the old Riot loading screen. But we are here. On the blue side, we have CAD Fire. CAD F in your screen. It is Olaf of Bread, a loaf of bread. Drew, Skjold, or Skjolfdir, Emperor Abandons, and Hexalith. Pancake Man, my friend, please introduce me to the side of Yuumi's Doms as we get a beautiful pause here.
Yep. I like to think they're waiting on us. So top lanes for Yuumi Dom, we got Greater. In the jungle is going to be Naga. Mid lane is going to be Guppy. In the bot lane, it's the duo Dominant Yuumi and Kazakura.
Yeah, Kazakura.
Kazakura.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Tomato.
Yeah. As we get into this, guys, just remember that League of Legends really loves spectating pauses, so you will expect to see a little bit of lag in between the game resuming. As we are stuck at 0, this is called the Riot Games Classic. As we go, expect to see a small bit of lag as the game kind of tries to resync past everything. Pretty normal game. Do you have any opening thoughts on anyone you want to look at or anyone you want to highlight before we really get stuck in?
Yes. Kind of as we're looking at the loading screen, you look at this Lee Sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very much has this early game urgency, wants to get going very quickly. It might be very tough for Drew to do that, right? You see all this, CC disengage peel that on the side of Yuumi's Doms. Mm-hmm. It might be very tough for this Lee Sin to maneuver within these fights, right? If you're going to use your mobility to jump in, you might not have a ticket to get out, right? It might be a one-way ticket. So he's going to have to be very careful with how he uses his mobility and how he uses his kick, whether he's going to use it offensively or even for a little bit of a disengage. Definitely going to be something important to watch as this game moves forward.
Here's what I would ask you. If you see, let's say Greater, by hook or by crook, maybe jungle camps him or whatever, Greater gets ahead. If you're ever Lee Sin, are you ever just thinking of sitting there and just dragon kicking a Wukong that's coming in for an ROA just to play disengage, or are you trying to hit that priority target and dominate Yuumi all gas, no brakes?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna differ game from game.
We see a bit of engage out of Hexa. Hex goes in. The plasma is stacking up. The plasma does not. Oh, it finally gets cashed out by Emperor's Abandons. Hexalith taking a lot on the swing back, but guess what, brother? Hexa's got plenty of potions. Yuumi's only got one. So that is a very, very nice trade out of Hexa and Emperor Abandons as we see a little bit of early game action, and that's the problem. We were talking Morgana really makes Rel slightly miserable, right? Because it's so hard for her to get the engage she wants. Not so when it is Nami. Nami basically has to land the bubble of a lifetime to stop it from getting ugly, and just a little unfortunate, but not the worst thing in the world. At least no deaths, right? And
trade for summoner spells 2 and 2, right? The heal in the barrier used for Yuumi's Doms, and then just the ignite flash for Hexa. So pretty even trade.
Yeah. I like it a lot. See Naga here. Naga's going in on Ahri. Ahri's got no spirit rush to get away. We were talking about naked Morgana Qs. Well, guess what? If Ahri is in the air from a flag and drag, specifically Naga's flag and drag, that means Guppy can very easily land a Q and the damage will just pour on. Really nice gank out of Naga there, making his presence felt early in the game.
Yeah, really advantageous to try to gank that Ahri before she gets level 6. Obviously, a lot of mobility post 6 with that ultimate. So EQ from the Jarvan lines up into the Q from Morgana, and you're not.
Oh no! Was that an overstay from Guppy? Guppy might have overstayed. Had no black shield. Beautifully played out of Hexa to save the wave and try to get Ahri back in, but Kazakura's just hanging down with Jarvan. They had finished taking the Scuttle Crab. We're waiting for Hexa to rotate back. Perhaps the wards were just not close enough to the entrance. You can see there's a banana bush ward out of YD. I think Rel got that down as she died. It was just not properly warded, and Rel's just death bush there. On the bright side, Emperor Bandits is getting solo XP and CS, so it's not a complete loss. And very importantly, if you look at the CS diff, You'd expect Ari to lose a massive amount of CS, but Hexa actually very wisely kind of bailed the lane out for a Skull, and look at this, Skull is pushing it back in. The onus is now on Guppy to pick up CS, and it's only like gonna be a 3 to 5 CS diff off of a kill, which is not way too bad considering how the waves were stacked.
Yeah, we've seen actually a couple good Morgana Qs land, but the damage coming back from Skull has been significant. As we see, there is a little bit of a gap there, but the mana isn't going to be there for anything more in this mid lane. This top lane has actually been interesting to me because the Wukong has been trying to get some damage down, as we see it gank in the bot lane.
Gotta interrupt you. Gank's coming. Yuumi had to flash. Kazakura now flashes. Lee Sin really wants to make the difference, is able to. And dominant Yuumi walks up. Oh my god, Drew. That was disgusting. As he's able to kill the ADC. Unfortunately, Skull falls down in the mid lane. Guppy actually doing a great job. Must have landed those naked Qs I was doubting. Sorry, Guppy. Didn't know about your game. I guess you proved me wrong there. As Skull's going to have to think about what he needs to do to keep himself safe, but that's a beautiful bot pickup. Emperor Abandons gets out with one, and Drew gets out with one as well.
Yeah, that's huge for the state of this game, right? This Lee Sin getting early gold, definitely going to impact this map with the mobility we talked about earlier. Only level 5, going to be close to level 6 here. Once that kick comes in, becomes even scarier for this bot lane. They need to make sure they have exquisite vision as this game goes on before they rotate in the mid lane eventually. But yeah, they're going to try to rinse and repeat that gank in the bot lane.
Does feel like J4 and Lee Sin are both getting like really nice early impacts here. As we kind of go into the second clear, who are you looking to make the first gank coming out of the jungle next?
Well, you'd like to see Jarvan get his ultimate off in an impactful way.
By the way, just to mention, Lee Sin has gotten ults before J4 has. Drew got his before Naga, though Naga just got ults. You were just speaking about ults.
Yep, right at that 47, 48 CS mark. So really close as we see quite a bit of damage come through from the Kai'Sa side. This Kai'Sa can be very scary in this comp, right? Going to be a lot of CC happening on his own team. So a lot of different targets he's going to be able to ult in on. Or out of, right? There is a lot of CC, so might be needing to use that defensively. But in terms of junglers, yeah, Jarvan needs to get a good gank off with his ultimate, right? As we see,
Cyclone comes out of Wukong. Yeah. Very interesting. I don't know if he actually has the damage. Olafabret just walks away. Here's the interesting part. Olafabret is actually up CS and just a little bit of gold here. Wukong Greater, very known for getting these early leads on aggressive champs, unable to get it so far, but Olafabret is hanging around. Oh no, Greater, did you go too far? He gets clapped by Olaf. He's just as low of him now. And the trading continues. Wow. And he isn't able to properly crash the wave. Well played by Olaf there. Just the right amount of aggression. Ward goes down. Lee Sin looking, and Lee Sin is the first one on drag. Took a really sneaky angle. I believe the drag is unwarded by the sides of Yuumi's Doms here. Ladies and gentlemen, we might see a sneak drag come out of Drew.
Yeah, in his bot lane, he's just cashing in on his bot lane's priority, as we're going to see the Rel and the Kai'Sa move over just to cover this. Jarvan's not a very good timing. Morgana is looking to move down, but can't, as the Ahri kind of has some more prio there as well. So easy dragon for the side of CAD Fire.
Yeah, beautiful smite timing out of him too. Very quick. So it'll be interesting. I usually don't look too much into smite timings because 50-50s are called that for a reason. It's a literal coin flip sometimes. But as Lee Sin, you are one of the better smite stealers in the game. You know what I mean? You have lots of mobility. You can ward hop. You can queue in. It might not always be obvious where or when Lee Sin's coming in for a gank. So that could be good for Drew. But again, your smite timings are very different when you're the one under pressure. So we'll see how that goes. Olafabret keeps up, and oh my gosh, Hexalith comes in with a beautiful ult, sucking both of them in. I don't know if dominant Yuumi can continue to get gone in on here. I think she's out safely, but Kazakura falls to a beautiful Hexalith R.
Yeah, the Nami was dead before Xayah's R got completed, so nothing really she could do after that kill. As we're going to see the ult used on both mid laners.
Oh my goodness, the chains from Morgana comes in, the stun comes in, almost a beautiful sidestep from Skull. Unfortunately, Skull was just unable to properly dodge it. It was so close, but it just wasn't enough. Very sad though. Nami Wave comes in, Hexalith in a ton of trouble, trying to run away. Unfortunately, just gets killed, and that's a beautiful take back from Dominate Yuumi and Kazakura there, as this game is not slowing down anytime soon, my friend.
No, and you know what? We need to give Guppy
Oh
his
no,
praise here
the
after
flag
this
and drag from Naga interrupts Olaf of Bread's charge out. However, he blows the call of the Forge God. No! The ramp does not respond to the second cast. Naga would have been dead here with a proper call. Olaf of Bread just gets out with a few whacks, a grass proc, and nothing else. Oh no, Dominic, we got interrupted! And
Oh,
completed her back. It's an absolute disaster. They had beautiful back timings, but they were not watching us. Oh, there's that naked key we were talking about. Another dark binding lands on a Guppy. Guppy, what black magic are you using on this Morgana here? As this game keeps delivering, it is 10 minutes, 9 kills, and it is within 300 gold of each other right now, Pancake.
yeah, Guppy's been playing out of his mind. The free flash and the ultimate to make sure those chains stay connected, allowing that kill to come through onto Skull in the mid lane. And then in the top lane, a little bit of a misplay there, and then the Lee Sin took a peek under turret to see if he couldn't get a Q, but didn't connect. Are we gonna see?
Oh no, Dominant Yuumi is getting dove on, just immediately slain with a combination of the Magnet Storm and the second skin plasma passive. Cyclone comes out from Wukong. Hexalith gets a beautiful charge to knock Greater off, however, they both walk back in for a second Cyclone. Greater gets the clone off, however, he was stunned while cloning, unable to defend himself. Nami Waves comes out, but Skull lands a beautiful charm, and this time the Dark Binding hits a big old gromp. Naga is now walking in, trying to get a flag and drag on Emperor Bandits. Lands a Cataclysm, however, Emperor Bandits did not take enough damage. The smite goes down, Olaf lets him out, and then another beautiful charm comes out of Skull, and every problem Skull had in laning phase, he makes up for in these beautiful rotations and teamfight. But Drew, it might be time to leave the premises. Oh no, another Dark Binding comes out. Brother says, at least I get my gromp. He smites it away, dies with honor, but that was just a bit of a greedy overstay out of Drew there as he gives up a freebie back. However, we have gone from a 300 gold lead to a 2.7k gold lead out of CAD Fire. How are you feeling right now, Pancake?
I'm feeling these grubs need to be taken. We're 12 minutes in the game. One of these junglers needs to start prioritizing it. But we're non-stop fighting, right? This Kaisa is a problem, right? Right before that fight, the Kraken Slayer did come through, so the damage was amplified significantly. Getting those plasma stacks, proccing that, and doing a hell of a lot of damage.
Ooh! Ooh! Call of Forge God comes out! Olaf is calling the Forge God. The Forge God is leaving Olaf on red. Brother, he just silenced your call. Nothing's happening as the ramp does not come back. And that is a disaster. And oh my god, Olaf of Red, do not die and get punished here. I might cry for you. Oh my god, thank god Marshall is not casting today. I think he'd have very choice words for Olaf of Breads. Olaf's ego might just be in tatters if Marshall was casting this game. Xayah goes up with the feathers. Emperor Bandits don't get the second skin. Plasma combined with the killer instinct means that the Feather Storm wasn't enough, and Hexalith comes in with a charge and Magnet Storm to pick up the second kill. And one of the players who we were really expecting a lot of juice out of, Dominate Yuumi, is actually getting owned by Emperor's Abandon right now.
Yeah, this gold lead on the Kaisa is crazy. It's 2,600 gold.
Wow.
I mean, that's a full Zeal item right there for the side of CAD Fire in this Kaisa. That's scary, right? So you need to be on alert. You see this Kaisa in a fight, you need to go somewhere else because you're just not going to win it. Simple as that.
I would like to say, I believe it was, I think it was Monkey who was like, how do you know Kaisa's abilities? Black magic, and if you ask Big Buddha in TLA, he might give you the answer, but otherwise I'm not going to say anything. It's a really tense game here, but there's a 700 gold shutting. If you want to look at the positives for Yuumi's Doms, oh my god, we see another Cyclone come out, but a beautiful Bellows out of Olaf of Bread means he's not initially hit up. However, Olaf of Bread might be seeing his last. The flash comes out, the Wukong lands the crushing blow, and a Cataclysm comes out. Call the Forge God. Well, you can't blame Olaf for missing it this time. He was dead. There was no way for it to happen. Dominant Yuumi gets shot by Ari. What a beautiful hit. Unfortunately, Kazakura is there with the wave. Ooh, the ebb and flow. Make sure that Kazakura is safe, but that was a very dangerous... Sorry, make sure Yuumi was safe out of... Kazakura was doing that. However, Dominant Yuumi is catching a lot of flack under a ton of pressure right now. Nothing is coming free to them. The game continues.
A lot of skill shots being hit on both sides, right? But the lane swaps are starting to come through. Kai'Sa's starting to get into this mid lane. They're going to transition that into a Herald as Grubs, excuse me.
Grubs is currently 2-1. 2-1 in the favor of Yuumi's Doms, by the way. Lee Sin was able to take one, which is really nice. That means you don't get Grub Shido to attack the towers. But it is a bit tragic for Yuumi's here as we see the gold lead balloons to over 3k now. Dominant Yuumi coming mid, but look who's waiting in the wings. It's Hexalith. How far are you going to push? The question is not too far. Hexalith decides better about the back. Naga has seen top. This might be the time for Catfire to make a play mid. It is another Searing Charge out of Olaf. He does actually get away. It looked like it was a 2v1, but brother, it's not. Hexalith comes in, but a beautiful Feather Storm comes out of Dominant Yuumi to keep themselves safe, combined with the tidal wave from Nami. Dark Binding comes out of Guppy. I believe a fat flash was blown by Guppy there. Sister, I don't know if that Dark Binding lands naked on just anyone. You were hitting Skull. I don't know if it's that easy to hit Emperor, as Kai'Sa does stay safe. More importantly, Kai'Sa's up full sums. Dominant Yuumi does not have Flash or Barrier, and Featherstorm and Tidal Wave are both down right now if they're looking to make more things happen mid. Top lane still kind of a waste of time. Just a minor gold lead for Olaf of Bread, probably based off the turrets more than anything else. Drew is heading top. Lee Sin does land. A call of the Forge God goes. Can Olaf of Bread land his Forge God hit? I believe he did there. Kazakura in a ton of trouble. He did land it. However, mid lane action is happening too quickly. Hexalith too fat for not going to be interested in a Flag Drag. And the fight ends with a dead Kazakura mid and the dive being set up top. Drew comes. He does not land the Sonic Wave. The Greater plays beautifully with the clone. Drew is not dead. TP comes out of Guppy. Unfortunately, there's a TP coming out of, I believe, Skull. Skull goes in. Spirit Rush lands it. Oh my god, Skull's gonna get out with the Spirit Rush, reset on the charge, walks right over the wall and gets away with just absolute murder. Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful play out of Hexalith. Lands the stun with the Shattering Strike, then does the crash down on the Ferromancy to make sure that there's no way for Dominant Yuumi to get away. The gold lead has ballooned to 5k, Pancake, 5k.
Yeah, Skull and Drew, they're trying to just show off at this point with some of these mechanics that are coming down. But another rinse and repeat in the mid lane. Spur just decides when and where he's going to kill whoever he wants. And there's nothing the other team can do about it, right? Emperor's down.
Wow, Emperor's walking in on Kaza. Literally, there's only a ward on his bot side. He just walks up. He is feeling so confident right now. If you're playing Yuumi's Doms, Pancake, you're the jungler. You're Naga right now. You're not doing too bad. What are you telling your team to try and get this game back on track?
We need to figure out how we're going to kill this Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
That's... You look at the gold lead, I think 4,000 of this gold lead is on this Kai'Sa.
TP did come down.
Yeah, it's about 3,500.
I hate to interrupt your rousing speech, but it looks like we might see a fight for the drag here. Drew is hanging around with Lee Sin. The ward does come down. Olaf of Bread is TPing down. Drew gets the health. It looks like they're kiting Yuumi Doms after the Sonic Wave comes in and the Dragon's Fury knocks Naga into the rest of his team. And the call of the Forge God. When it comes out, Blizzard comes down. Orb breaks a door for Hexalith to walk out of. Guppy in a ton of trouble. The chains are coming, but unfortunately, they do not even get to finish casting it as a decisive strike comes out of CAD Fire, sealing the third dragon for them, and this game might just be getting out of control. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was really troll by Yuumi's Doms. Like, you have no advantage in this game right now. If you want the dragon, you have to set up a play before you start doing the dragon dance, right? If you get 5v5 to that pit, you're just gonna lose. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way to kill this Kai'Sa right now. 12-0-3 on the Kai'Sa is absurd. Absurd. Yeah. So if you don't kill Kai'Sa right away, you're just gonna die.
This might be a deep cut, but if you watch me on my last stream, that is 2 Renekton diffs. That's pretty crazy. Crazy bot gap here. I really want to heap a lot of praise onto Hexalith. Hexalith has been punishing Yuumi's Doms every time they leave that Xayah solo. Hexalith is in the bush setting up a dive. Really well played on the rel here out of Hexalith. Hexalith really keeping dominant Yuumi on the back foot there, and it's just really great to see out of the support.
Yeah, and for the side of the Lee Sin, like, Drew is sitting there going, I thought I was going to play this Lee Sin and have to impact this map all over the place. Drew's just had to sit back and just, as long as he's not going to feed, it's a success, right? You don't need to be the shining star when you have a 12-0-3 Kai'Sa, so it's a little bit of a weird feeling, I'm sure, for Drew, who thought coming into this, hey, I'm going to be this dominant Lee Sin who's going to go around and try to kill everyone, which is now turned into, I'm the side piece for this Kai'Sa.
Yeah. And the chat is talking. Who is the favorites here? I do want to say on August 16th, I believe, CAD Fire 2-1 to Yuumi's Doms. So if you're going off of record, head to head, CAD Fire is fortunately favored. The Black Shield actually goes down, and I thought Olafur Bread was going to steal it with the Call of the Forge God. He does not. But that, unfortunately, is a dead Guppy. And I wonder if it was a bit of a mistake to leave Guppy on, like, a non-playmaking mid. I really would have liked to see, like, I don't know, a Diana out of Guppy. Because Guppy got the lead you were looking for. They did everything right. But it's just so scuffed, and it feels like Guppy can't make a play. A beautiful peel off the Baron. Greater in a ton of trouble for walking too close. Yeah, it looks like Drew might die, but he is able to get out. And there goes the Metal Storm out of Hexalith. Goal, unfortunately, Spirit rushes into the Cataclysm. You're stuck in here with me. Is blown up. Naga manages to pull away with a kill too, but that is a team-wide ace. Kai'Sa does get the kill. Guppy's not even heading mid to try and stop the bleeding here. It looks like the mid tier 2 will fall. I don't know if the tier 3's on the menu, but CAD Fire continues to keep getting their lead, keep expanding their lead, and keep pushing this game to what they want to believe is the inevitable conclusion.
Yeah, they gave their best shot trying to kill Emperor, did Yuumi's Doms. Got her about the 3rd health, but then the arm guard was used, got that stasis, and the rest of the team was able to clear out, and Emperor was able to stay alive, and now 15-0-5. This is a carry performance, to say the least.
Yeah, that is just crazy. And by the way, this arm guard out of Emperor Bandits has been upgraded into Azania's Hourglass, which means Emperor Bandits has it again. Stealth in the dominant Yuumi. It just says, you need to leave this map now. Get out. And that is a dead ADC in an up Baron. I just think that means that Olafur Bread splits bot, and they're daring Yuumi's Doms to stop them. Yes, they are. Goal begins walking down, and unfortunately Yuumi's Doms is completely blind to what's happening in the Baron pit, and J4 is in Narnia on the other side of the map getting scuttled. Can't exactly blame him. I don't even think they can contest. Oh my goodness, it's a disaster as the Baron power play begins now. 3 minutes on the clock. 800 gold up. What can you take with this Baron, CAD Fire? You do not want to give Xayah more time. You've kept her down for so long. Naga just staring at staring at Olaf. Olaf seeing charges for minions, and Greater's already walking in. Olaf of Bread might just die here, but does it exactly matter? The Cataclysm comes out. Paul the Forge God comes out. It's a beautiful cyclone to try and stop it. Unfortunately, the Avengers have assembled in the bot lane. Greater's pulled back in by the Metal Storm. Guppy tries to throw out a binding to help, but I just don't know if it can help you, brother. As Greater's running for his life, he leaps in. Greater, he's just killed off of a Sonic Wave on Guppy. What a beautiful play out of Drew to make his mark felt in this game. It just feels like he's like, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Oh my gosh.
Who was trapping who?
Play.
Who was trapping who in that last fight? You know, I think they thought they were, Yuumi's Dom was making a play on the Ornn, and it got turned around real quick once that plasma stacked because of the passive. And the Ornn CC, all of a sudden, you know, the killer instinct comes in from Kaisa, and the rest is history.
Oh no, that's last Drake. Olaf of Bread might die here. They might get a little bigger recompense. However, I don't know if that's enough of a repayment for losing an Infernal Drake. Yes, I can see the score bug's a little messed up. I will fix that in post, promise. But it's just because there is such a glut of resources on CAD Fire's side that, like, my scorebar is struggling to keep up. If you look at one side, one team's having all the fun, the other team's just spare change. Hello, anybody? Oh my gosh.
Riches, Kaisa has the death cap. This damage,
goodness.
This plasma stacking is going to be nasty. If you get 4 out of off, you're going to die.
It's going to be terrifying, honestly. I would not want to be anyone facing that Kaisa. If I check the gold here... Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. It is just gross.
5.5?
Yeah, 5.5 gold lead. That is just disgusting, man. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, this game is almost to the unwinnable stage for the side of Yuumi's Doms. You got to have some miracle pick. Putting it at 99%. Obviously, there's always that 1%
Oh no,
chance,
Naga's getting caught. Kazakura, not Kazakura, sorry. Emperor Bannons lands a beautiful Kaisa Q. Kaisa coming in, lands another set of Icathian Rain, blows up another person. The second skin plasma's just going insane at this point. Void Seeker comes out to secure the kill, and that's just another set of kills. This might be the final push we look at, Pancake Man. If you are Yuumi's Doms, you're Greater, or your Naga, or whoever's kind of leading this team, what are you telling them for game 2?
Let's make life a little easier for ourselves, right? Draft something that is a little bit easier to execute.
Okay.
To me, you look over at the side of Yuumi's Doms, and these champs, individually, if they were, you know, on a comp, it's nothing crazy, but you put all of them together and you go, holy crap, what is this symphony of craziness that is, you know, the Morgana mid, the Wukong top, and the Jarvan and the Nami. It was very difficult to execute, and then in the end, it was just Kaisa kind of made this game unplayable. So, not much more than that. If you're the side of Yuumi's Dom, just say, hey, they had one good performance. Let's bounce back. This was the opposite of their last series. In their last series, the first game did go to Yuumi's Doms, and CAD Fire had to bounce back, and they did get game 2 and 3. So we'll see if Yuumi's Doms can do the same.
Very true. Very, very, very true. As just... It almost felt a bit tragic, you know. It felt like it was like really back and forth, kind of seeing the game kind of go, and then it just felt like all of a sudden it exploded for CAD Fire and just fell completely just out of whack. You know what I mean? Just out of their hands.
Needed to stem the bleeding, right? In the bot lane, they needed to play a little safer for dominant Yuumi and Kazakura. They kept thinking, oh, we were so close, and they were in a lot of those fights, but close turned into not as close, into just one-sided real quick, and so they let it get a little bit out of control. But it was very, very close early on, so definitely nothing to be too afraid of. It's not like they can't come back from this. It was one good performance. Hopefully they can draft a little bit better, give themselves a little bit more tools to put up put up a decent fight in game 2.
And let it be known, I accidentally had 1-0 in the chat, okay, for Cadfire versus Yuumi's Doms, who Olaf hilariously put as YS. Well, guess what the game ended up being? 1-0 Cadfire. So maybe, just maybe, I'm a prophet. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, it just felt like that game fell completely out of Yuumi's Dom's hands, and you just gotta. And it's not like Dom and Yuumi themselves played particularly bad. What I'd really like to see out of Yuumi's Doms, and this might just be me, is that you need to protect dominant Yuumi better in this, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, it felt like a lot of the time dominant Yuumi was just chilling as Kazakura was like trying to hang out and like help this like help the jungler and like get these really nice rotates off. Issue with that is, unfortunately, Hexa was not buying what you were selling. Hexa's just like, no, thank you. I'm gonna jump on your team. I'm gonna jump on your ADC and murder them really quickly. And it just happened again and again and again. So just something to consider. Just something to consider when you're looking at game 2. Looks like we will be getting into the second draft very quickly. They do not want to waste time here. Guys, you might be seeing a bit of a double header here, depending on how this one goes. I'm not going to spoil anything too quickly, but I mayhaps have been cooking for you. For now, Yunara is taken away by YD. I like the ADC bans. Emperor Bannons went completely ham-bony there. Absolutely do not want to see Emperor Bannons on big time carries. Takes away Yunara, takes away Vayne, kind of another really mobile ADC. Kazakura's Lulu taken away, wants to keep dominant Yuumi on the back foot out of fire. Vi is taken, Renekton's taken. Oh my god, these bans, Pancake, it's gone too quick. If you're Yuumi's Doms, who are you picking here? Oh, Shen.
Yeah, boom. I actually love that pick, right? Give another tool for your bot lane, your mid laner to stay safe. I don't know if this is going to be going in the top lane or even in the jungle. We'll see it occasionally there. But this is going to bring some security, so maybe you can prevent the snowball that we had last game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to make the side of Cadfire think twice before they go into an engagement, right? Because a 2-on-2 can switch into a 3-on-2 in a couple seconds. So definitely going to bring some hesitation across the map with that Shen pick, as the Gragas coming through for the side of Cadfire. Not one we see too often, but definitely a good pick in the top lane into that Shen.
Yeah.
So I expect it to go into the top.
You do get this really nice long interrupt of Shen ult. But what I like out of Shen ult here, if it is a Shen top by Greater, is Greater actually had a lot of trouble punishing Olaf of Brett, you know what I mean? So if you can't punish Olaf of Brett if he's just playing tanks top, go do something on the rest of the map. Go make the rest of the map a living hell for the opposing team, and then play off that. Make that work instead. So I do like both of these. This could be a Gragas jungle out of Drew, by the way, 100%, like an AP Gragas assassin jungle. Is that a none pick?
We can kind of, they'll be saying it's a Syndra. A Syndra was picked where it says
they did an oopsie poopsie. They did a Syndra pick. Oh no, this is getting weird. Request swap. Oh boy. Hey, let me tell you. At least this one's not my fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Corkinator and Syndra is the picks.
Corky and Syndra. Okay, and just to know, I do think this Gragas is going to follow the Shen, right?
Okay.
And the reason being is because as Gragas, you have 2 tools to stop the Shen ult, right? You have your E and you have your ultimate.
Yeah.
So both are going to give you the tools to try to limit the impact Shen can have around the map.
Yeah, the explosive cask is really, and it's really bad for Shen too. Because the worst thing that can happen if you time it properly, when Shen lands on somebody after ulting them, an explosive cast can actually separate them, or even worse, while Shen's using that Stand United to pop onto his team, the Gragas can just explosive cast both of them into his team and force a 2v5. That leads to really quick kills. The Gwendolyn ban top kind of makes me think it's Graggy top because Gragas hates Gwen. He can farm
Yep.
with barrel roll, but it's really tough. And he could be under a ton of pressure. Set ban too. Gragas hates being used as fodder.
Mike, I want to jump in here because this might be Tristana mid Xerath bot.
Ooh, you
Just
think
because
so?
Xerath was picked bot lane by this team in game 1 of their series, I
Okay.
believe against
Ooh,
Yuumi.
it's Scion. I
So
stand corrected. So they
it is going to be
banned
a
the Scion counters. That's almost guaranteed Gragas jungle Scion top,
yep.
don't you think?
I agree. So it is going to be the Gragas going into that jungle, which makes sense for a Tristana mid, right? You have the AP in this jungle, Tristana with the AD in the mid lane. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to check here real quick. What are they paired up with? Well, they paired up last time with the Nami, which is not. Oh, excuse me. I get this wrong. Actually, Yumi's Doms was the one who picked the Xerath bot lane in game 1 of their
Mm,
series on the 16th. So this is the first time they're playing against each other. So could go into the mid lane.
okay, fair enough. Um,
Love the Braum pick here, by the way. Love
yeah,
it. The
love it.
disengage, the safety for the
The only
Corki.
thing I struggle a little bit with is Corky's like actual auto attack support for Braum can be questionable.
Uh,
Silas
a
Jungle
lot of
Shen
alts.
top. Silas Jungle, right?
I think it could be. You could also put the Silas into the Scion in the top lane.
I
I
just
would assume Shen top and Silas jungle. That's what I would guess. But
and Shen
with what
actually
we've seen over
is.
these last couple weeks, I could see anything happening.
I do like Guppy on Syndra because that gives them more playmaking ability. This is super interesting. You know what I really wanted to see? I'm not against Tarek. I would have loved a Hexa Poppy support.
Yeah, a lot of value. Obviously, stopping the Shen
But Tarek
taunt,
is kind of
Corki
like
W, the Braum, the Silas. So yeah, a lot of value out of the Corki or out of the Poppy. Excuse me.
because it really hurts like Silas. It really hurts Silas engages, hurts Shen taunts and whatnot. And it can roam
Mhm.
around the map really well and actually beats into tanks pretty decently, does max health. However, Tarek is pretty good in a Braum because the Tarek E pierces Braum's shield.
Yep.
Because it's like the Xerath beam. The Xerath beam also pierces Braum's shield because it's not considered a projectile. It's like a Luxold, right? So
Mhm.
Tarek can actually stun Braum and the ADC who's hiding behind him. But man, this is quite quite dangerous. Quite a dangerous kind of hit comp out of CAD Fire kind of pick slash team fight, and then you've got a little bit more like poke and rotates out of Yumi's Doms. Who are you thinking is like? Who are you thinking is the best? What
Well, I
team do
think
you
right
like
now,
here more?
Cat Fire, they're almost rinse and repeating from
Mm-hmm.
last game, right? You have this tank top lane, tank uh, support, and then you have a playmaking jungler in the Gragas, a little bit different style than the Lee Sin. And then in this mid lane, a little bit different style, but you're going to still control a lot of wave control with
Mm-hmm.
the Xerath, and then the hyper carry Tristana. So a little bit of a rinse repeat. I do think Yumi's Doms had a lot better draft this time. Very easily executable comp. This Syndra pick, I love. I think Syndra right now is very, very strong in the mid lane.
Okay.
And especially all of a sudden you have a Tristana that's going to hesitate to jump in, fearing a Syndra R interface. So definitely going to make the Tristana's job a lot more difficult. Going to have to be cautious on where he use her rocket jump. But either way, I'm excited for game 2. This one should be a good one.
Guys, we're already getting into the spectator delay. Believe it or not, they like locked and loaded really quick. It got about 3 minutes. Um, it is interesting because here's what I see. Hexa had a lot of success diving dominant Yuumi repeatedly, like under tower, and making dominant Yuumi just kind of stuck in the blender of getting 2v1 and murdered on repeat. And Tarek loves diving because he has the falling star. That makes his team invulnerable for these dives. You have Gragas, who can deliver Corki wherever he wants if he's properly timing, is able to like outplay the Valkyrie per se. But for now, I think we're gonna hop into a quick break. We are going to wait out our spectator. Corki top? Oh my gosh, chat said Corki top.
Oh my gosh,
It's
it is a Corki top.
actually
It's a
ADC.
Stylus mid Shen jungle Corki top. I didn't even catch it. It just seems so normal. This is a Syndra bot lane.
Okay. I think, you know what? I'm gonna go cry now.
I need to digest this. We need a quick break. Holy Hannah.
Those of you who are in the ad break, I'd like to confirm this is Syndra bot Corki top. These two commentators are extremely hurt and worried for the state of Yuumi's Dom's mental. Either they cook so hard I don't know what is happening to me, or we're in a lot of trouble and this game's gonna get really ugly really quickly. Either way, we'll be right back. I'll see you after the spectator delay? Question mark? Like, please have mercy. I don't know what to say. We'll be right back, guys. I'll see you in a little bit. I don't know what's happening to me right now. Hello, my friends. We are back, and I cannot wait to see the greater Corki cook. I am so excited as we start a game 2, and not only do I get to see the greater Corki cook, I am seeing, I don't know if you see this, Pancake Man, I am seeing a 4-man bot lane cheese. As Yuumi's Doms is throwing all their brain trust into this game to see if they can get something. Unfortunately, it leads to not. Oh, no! Hexa and Emperor Bandits goes for the flank! They're found on the wrong side of the map, and that's just an instant death out of Hexalith. Maybe. That is a flash. Hexa trying to get the potions off. The potions are actually coming really quick for Hexalith. Is that, don't tell me. This is Shakespearean levels of tragedy right here. Guppy actually eats over. Guppy with a beautiful predicted picks up the first blood. That's why you keep Guppy on play-making champions. Now Emperor and Abandons has to sit in this freaking miserable Syndra Braum lane all by themselves on Tristana.
Yeah, I think they made a conscious choice on the side of Yuumi's Doms. We are not going to let Emperor beat us this game. How can we put him behind from the onset? And how they do it is they send 4 members bot lane, catch out a support, and now he's going to have a tough time getting farm early on in this lane.
Jen also is going to deal with the trouble of Drew is going to take your top side, bro, and you're guaranteed losing one big camp because Gragas went from blue to your jungle. You need to try and vertical, and I don't know if he has the timing. He sees Gragas. There's definitely a Yuumi's Dom's ward on their own red buff, but Shen's really slow on this take. Shen's really slow on this take. He's walking to the top side. Did he not see Gragas go?
No, he
Oh,
did. There's a ward literally on a red buff.
there's a ward on it. Is he going to try and kill Gragas? I don't see what's
Like the
happening
Corki's not
here.
moving.
Corky moves now. Gragas in a little bit of trouble. Drew getting ganked on. He's going to take a lot of damage for Greater, but he's not going to get punished. And this means Gragas gets 3 halves of a jungle, potentially.
No, but Shen should go into his top side here. Should punish. Took a lot of damage on Drew.
He should. Oh my goodness! What a jump in. A beautiful jump. Guppy taking a lot of damage. Takes a tower shot and dies. Shen taunts Drew. Naga gets a beautiful taunt off Drew. And unfortunately, Olaf of Brett needs to pick up his CS. There are fights happening all over, but Shen can't get this. He's not got it yet. The second part of the Spirit Sauce does hit. But oh no, Gragas is coming back in. Naga's forced to flee. He is forced to use the taunt out. And that's a TP coming from Guppy top. That is so
much
happening,
spent.
What is this game? Monster, I need an adult. Mega, I need an adult. I don't know what to do here. Please help me. I
feel like Ricky
is
Bobby,
this
I
what
don't
a
know what to
clown
do with my
fiesta
hands.
is? Your Honor, is this a clown fiesta? What in the world is happening in this game? They're emoting on them. Help!
I thought the draft was going to be the biggest surprise of this game, and I was dead wrong. As what? He's just dead. I'm losing LP watching this right now. What is happening? Okay, so what we have seen, so in the jungle, right? You see some counter jungling coming in by Drew. Drew is on vision unknowingly, I think, and as he is pushing back into his side, he's going to lose a lot of health from the Corki. So the Shen now thinks, oh, I can go get his jungle, but he had no support. The Corki didn't rotate over. Flash used by Drew, flash used by Olaf. Both of them flash, don't get the kill, and then Guppy says, this looks like a party I want to be a part of, and TP's in after the play is completely over. Holy crap, what the heck's going on?
Oh no, another jump in. Oh, Dominant Yuumi, you got caught. Drew's over the wall. He does not use the body slam yet. Yep, there's the body slam on Kazakura. Kazakura uses the Brawl Shield the completely wrong way. I think that's a little unfortunate. I don't know if it actually changes anything. The, what was it? The Unbreakable, just in the completely wrong direction. Massive wave about to get cashed out by Greater here. Greater is getting a CS lead. I'm really worried about here, Pancake, is the complete bottom half of the map falls apart for Yuumi's Doms, while Greater has a okay, just decent time in the top lane. As we see, it's a 2 gold lead for Greater after all is said and done.
Yeah, so my worry is, and this is not a shot at Skull, Skull was gifted 2 kills.
Yeah.
I mean, just gifted 2 kills. So, this Xerath getting online early with the ult, right? The Shen, yes, can impact the map, but there is a semi-global on the Xerath as well that can impact from a great distance, especially as you start hitting the level 11, level 16, as you get your second and third level in that ultimate. So, got to be very careful on the side of Yuumi's Doms. You don't want all of a sudden this Xerath to get out of control. And then another kill coming down for Emperor, right? We saw this in game 1. I don't think we're going to see it to the extent we had it with the Kaisa, but
Olaf of Bread kind of takes a bad trade here. The Soul Furnace doesn't work out, but look who's lurking on the other side of the river. Oh, it's Drew. He's walking up. Unfortunately, the Hexalith Taric Sun does not work out. Kazakura able to walk in, get some slaps off. A Dark Sphere comes out of Syndra. The top lane gank comes to naught. Here's the real problem. Look at the CS Drew has right now. It's 29 to 36. In favor of Shen, and because Drew was so slow on taking his camps, he's actually behind a camp after all said and done there, like you said. So I guess the TP got your Shen a little bit ahead, but the all-important level 6 timing is super in Shen's favor. Shen about a fifth of the way to his level 6, while Drew hasn't even hit level 5. And Shen is currently ganking Skull. Skull running for his freaking life. Hexen walking up, trying to get something done here. A stolen Rite of the Arcane comes out from Silas, but it's just not able to do enough damage right now. And yeah. Wow, that is...
Are they going to transition this bot pressure into a dragon? It looks like Shen's going to start it up. Drew is in the area, but he just doesn't... He has a backing bot lane. He has a mid lane that's not pushed out. So
he needs to take camps. If I'm Drew here, I would literally back and walk right to Shen's red. I don't care. Like, back, walk to Shen's red, and try to deny Shen farm and get myself the XP back. Because if you look at the XP differential, it's actually in Drew's favor right now until Shen backs and takes his camps. It looks like Gragas might be a little too slow to get a proper punish off, and he might actually kind of get away with murder here, but he's actually behind in tempo compared to Drew. If Drew can take advantage of that drag and get a level 6 off, if you look at the XP, Naga is slightly behind Drew now after having a pretty sizable lead. If Drew can hit 6 before Shen does, before Naga does, apologies, Naga, you do have a name. He does. He can get a gank off like right now before Stand United is ready to bail someone out. Potentially look for it top lane. You would know if you're Drew that you're a camp or so ahead. You can make something happen, but it looks like he's just gonna finish clearing, which is a bit of a shame. Yep, the Stand United is now available for Shen. We see lots of level 6s come in. Hexalith does not have the Falling Star on Taric, while the Glacial Fissure is available. Sorry, Cosmic Radiance, not Falling Star. The Cosmic Radiance is not ready for Taric, while the Glacial Fissure is for Braum. And game kind of slows down a little. And we are completely even in gold.
Yeah, let's do a little bit of recap of the craziness that was these lane swaps, right? So I think they got what they wanted. This Corki has been able to free farm in this top lane. Corki in the late game does a lot of damage, so you have to be very careful. As you see, a 10 CS
Drew's
lead
walking up. Greater
up there.
taking a bit of damage. Yeah, just leads to nothing. Sorry to interrupt you there. I was wondering if Drew was going to use Explosive Cask on it. No, he did not. Does Sion lane gank here? Does he just ult lane gank?
No, you're going to have TP come through.
He TPs. Okay. I would have been interested in seeing a Sion ult lane gank. Like, because you have the Taric stun, and Dominate Yuumi would basically be forced to flash. Or, Cosmic Core would basically have to flash to avoid the layered CC. So it's a bit unfortunate he TP's top. I think he could have made something happen there. But again, he might just be playing from CAD Fire with the idea of keep Corki under like 1,500 gold lead and we don't care what you do. And he is doing that right now.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, this Corki, we were worried about Corki down in the lane. If he was going to be in the bot lane, how safe could he be? Your hope here is, hey, if we get to 40 minutes, we're gonna have a Corki that's gonna do a crap ton of damage and might be able to match this Tristana a little bit. And I think it's a lot safer to do that in the top lane than in this bot lane matchup, where the Syndra can kind of use her spells to control the lane, control the minions, those kind of things.
Oh, Valkyrie is there. Raider might have seen his life flash before his eyes. However, Dominant Yuumi is walking right into a fully drunk Gragas. Oh my god, the alcoholism hits hard as, oh no, Stand United comes out. That means Shen is going to come in, and this might just be a dead Drew instead. He's forced to flash, forced to body slam away. Oh, what a beautiful ultimate out of, Buster Shot. I was looking for my words. What a beautiful Buster Shot, just yoinks Naga right back under the tower. I believe that is the third kill that has been due to tower shots. Oh, here comes the Cosmic Radiance out of Taric. He's invulnerable. Dominant Yuumi can't do a damn thing about it as Skull picks up 2. And I was really like happy that Yumi's Doms was kind of keeping it close and keeping it where they need to be. But it just feels what happened last time happened all over again. CAD Fire just picked up a string of unanswered kills.
Yeah, and this Xerath is getting to the point where it's out of control, right? 4-0-0 on the Xerath. Doing decently well in CS, dead even with the Silas. But this Xerath is going to impact the map so easily with that ultimate. We talked about it. You know, having those shots, it's the difference, right? Similar to the Shen, right? All of a sudden we saw in the bot lane, that looked like a winning fight for Emperor and Hexalith. But the Shen ult turns that around. Obviously a good Buster Shot by Emperor gets them the kill versus the side of Yuumi Doms. But anything can be done for the side of Skull or for the side of Fire. Skull is going to be able to impact this map, put down some extra damage in a fight that might have been close. It's going to get turned to a one-sided fight because of that.
Ooh. Okay. Pause. Okay, let's pretend this was a coach pause, right? In CS, they have pauses. In CS2, they have pauses in between rounds, right? Where the
Yes.
coach
Yeah.
can talk. You are Coach Pancake Man. You're in Yumi's Dom's ears right now. What are you suggesting to them?
Plan a play. It
Okay.
seems like every time we see them on our screen, they're reacting to a play that is being made by
Okay.
the side of CAD Fire, right? Even the last Shen ult was used after Emperor went in onto Dominant Yuumi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have something that you're the one initiating the fight. It's on your terms. You're going to have the early advantage. Do something, right? Go top
Mm-hmm.
lane, try to dive this top laner, which is tough, but I think you can do it. Dive this 4-0 and 0 Xerath. Something that's going to put you guys on the front foot instead of always playing from the back foot.
I see. Okay, the pause and its related nonsense is over, which means I'm sure CAD Fire and Yumi's Doms are going to pick a fight immediately, as Shen is already getting walked in on by 2. He's able to get out. And Hexalith is looking for their next angle. Yep, there's Naga. Here's the crunch from CAD Fire on the bot side. They're just going to take vision for now, but Hexalith takes the all-important banana bush vision before this dragon stops. Olaf of Bread just walking up on Corki and taking a quarter of his HP. Like, yeah, hit me, bro. And there goes the Emperor Abandons leap as the Taric stun comes in. Unfortunately, I don't believe that connection, the Cosmic Binding, was there in time. And the play just falls apart out from under them. Wow, the Dazzle, I believe the Bastion, not Cosmically. The Bastion was not there in time. It was made like as Emperor Abandons was jumping.
They're at least trying to make plays. You know,
Guppy's in. Oh, Guppy's using Rite of the Arcane. Oh, Skull does not have the magic toes. And you were talking about it. Get a dive off on Olaf of Bread.
Yeah.
There is a dive by Olaf of Bread. However, on the other side of the map, the dragon has fallen. That is a Hex Dragon for a very angry 2-kill Tristana. However, while Tristana has 2 kills, she's actually down gold because of the massive gold lead that Dominant Yumi's been able to accrue here.
Yeah, I mean, look, up 35 CS.
Oh, here comes Drew. Guppy might be in a little bit of trouble. I believe he dashed to threaten. Yep, the barrel comes in. Nah, the Dazzle's unable to hit. Silas's dash is back up. Ooh.
Let's take a look at some items here. So, on the side of CAD Fire, you're going to see Hex Optics come through for this Tristana. The Luden's Echo coming through for the Xerath and Skull. And the Lich Bane coming through for Drew. As on the side of Yumi's Doms, Triforce coming through for Greater. Protoplasm for Naga. And Proto Belt for Guppy. And then the bot lane both completed their items as well. Blackfire Torch and Locket as well.
Oh, Skull lands a decent
items
amount
coming
of
through.
harass. Items are coming through. The other thing that's coming through, levels. We have level 11 out of Olaf of Bread, out of Guppy, out of Greater, and out of Skull. So, more powerful ults coming as we see Naga potentially aiming for a lane gank here. Kind of dancing at the edge of vision. Kazakura walking up, maybe selling the deal, but Emperor Bandit's like, wait, why are you so close to me? As he just lands, the Tristana jump has not been used yet. The Cosmic Radiance comes down. Emperor Bandit does flash. I don't know if he needed to flash there, but he does get away, importantly.
Yeah, Kazakura does not look comfortable on this champ, right?
Yeah.
The ultimate
Hexalith
was not
Hexalith lives with the Bastion. Dies. I believe that was a death. Was that a Deathfire touch kill? No. Comet?
Yep.
Torch?
Blackfire Torch.
Oh, it was a Blackfire Torch. Okay.
Yep, the 22 bonus magic damage per second for 3 seconds. That's going to come through and finish off Hexalith there on the Tark.
I was guessing everything except items there. Oh my goodness. That was bad for me, but man. I like what Yumi's Doms is doing here. They've clawed back 1,000 gold lead. And it feels like what they've really done well is they stifled Drew. Drew and Hexalith have kind of been the drivers of the plays that keep CAD Fire ahead. And instead, we've seen that Drew's kind of been forced to just be taking objectives. As Stand United comes out, that is just a dead Xerath. You talk to gank Xerath, gank Olaf. And guess what happened? Well, Skull and Olaf have been killed. Oh, Explosive Barrel comes out, says, nice try, brother, but it gets stolen. Naga steals it. Greater coming in from the other side. This is a 3v3, but one of your three is a Tarek who just gifted the ult to Silas. Silas now makes himself and Naga invulnerable. The Scion is charging the Q. It does get a multi-stun, but Hexalith still dies. And this is all in Yuumi's Dom's favor as they're trying to bring us to game 3.
Yeah, I used to be a Corki one trick at one point in my life. Corki on a Triforce is extremely strong. Extremely strong. So was able to kill out Drew there before he was able to impact the fight too much. So gotta be careful. These item breakpoints matter, right? We saw it
looks
in
like
game 1
Raider
when...
wants to make top lane and long lane instantly. Wait, the tower hasn't died yet, but Olaf's too busy trading with Greater. Wow, the turret lives. Oh, Greater almost walked into...
It's one auto.
Oh my god, he almost walked into the decimating strat and got chunked. But yeah, you're really right on this. You said, Coach Pancake did said you need to be the one making plays. They are the ones making plays right now. And I really, if I'm talking to CAD Fire, I'm saying, Drew, man, we need to be the ones making plays this time. We cannot sit and be reactive here. And look what Drew's doing. He's hanging out in the bush, waiting for someone to get close so he can potentially get an explosive cast or body slam off. It's not happened just yet. How long can you wait? Guppy is on top of Skull. A beautiful cast comes out. Dominate Yuumi gets chucked right into the dazzle and is just exploded instantly. Really well played. Skull does die to Guppy in the solo lane. And again, this is just another reminder. Why are we putting Guppy on Morgana when we can put Guppy on something like Silas Diana that will just slap people around and make plays? And this 4-0 Xerath is now 4-3, and he's donated a massive amount of gold to this Silas.
Yeah, you look at in the lane, Silas has crawled all the way back to where now it's a 660 gold difference. So pretty much dead even in gold in the mid lane. So the bounty, though, is coming through on the Silas. 350 gold bounty for that kill if they are able to get it. As we're going to see Dragon number 2 going to the side of Yuumi's Doms as they start their stacking early and often.
Yeah. This is 2-1. This is 2-1.
2-1, excuse me. 2-1.
Yes, and the smite reaction slow on Naga, funnily enough, even though Naga was able to steal it via the Scuttle Mommy backshot into a smite. But, oh no, another explosive cast comes out, but it doesn't hit Dominant Yuumi, it only hits Kaza. Kaza able to take the bullet down, Mr. President, Kaza says, as Yuumi's able to live. Almost the exact same play. While it didn't work out this time, I actually love the idea from CAD Fire there to make something happen. Now what I want to see, Olaf of Bread, your tower is dead. Try to make an ult play somewhere as soon as that TP timer's up. You just need to ult into a lane and cause havoc. It might look like Greater is kind of under the magnifying glass. He does Valkyrie out, but look who's behind him. It's Drew. Olaf of Bread keeps trading. Hexalith walking up. The Valkyrie is still offline. Here comes the Dazzle. Yep. You're beautiful. Tarek has named you beautiful. The Decimating Smash comes out, and that might be a second Dazzle, but the rest of the team shows up. And an unstoppable onslaught is instead Silas coming in. Olaf of Bread's tower is dead. He's stuck in a long lane, and the Decimating Smash isn't enough for him to get anything back on Greater as the play turns ugly. What was the problem there? I just don't think there's enough damage to kill that Corki.
Yeah, and then the Corki was able to get all his damage down onto 2 members. Wow, this game has turned very quickly. Early on, it looked like this was going to be another
don't
stop
let Guppy land that.
Fire.
Okay.
But I love how Yuumi Doms is pressing their advantage, right? We're seeing turrets, we're seeing objectives, we're seeing plays being made. We're not just seeing this Shen'el used defensively, we're seeing it used offensively, and it's impacting the map, and it's adjusting how CAD Fire is being forced to play.
Mm-hmm. And there's Skull getting a tower while this is all going down, but guess who's back to kill you? It's gone abducts right into Xerath. Xerath had nothing to do as Guppy is probably going to get a kill. Wow, Skull in
Oh,
the TP with the fancy feat. The Abscond Duct was used, predicting Xerath to move forward even more. He wraps, and Guppy's just stuck looking at an image of what could be. Tristana does get the mid tower destroyed. It's actually, funnily enough, despite the domination of Silas, first mid tower goes down for CAD Fire's benefit. Really nice. Opens up the map a lot more. Now when you see Syndra kind of trying to farm out this lane and get prio, look at all the new angles that have opened up for Drew. Really important you break that. Now you need to break top, make 3 long lanes, and this is what allows Drew and Hexalith to get work done.
yep, and it's going to be interesting to see these lane allocations. Are we going to continue to see this Corki match the Scion? Or is he going to get switched up at all? And who's going to match Naga? Because I don't know if Xerath wants to be in a long lane like that. I feel like it's just going to be a rinse and repeat kill. So we'll see how they decide to answer it. As looks like it might be something brewing mid lane as 4 members for the side of CAD Fire is going to be converging.
Yeah, it does look like they are. Interestingly enough, Scion rushed Unending Despair instead of just going like Sunfire or I can't remember the other one off the top of my head.
Dead Man's Plate is
No,
another one.
no, the magic version of the bombies.
Oh, beats me.
I'm sorry, I can't remember it. But Sunfire, the other one. It's interesting going on Ending Despair first because it's just not as interesting, or it's not as effective against minions. Let me put it that way. And unfortunately for Unending, Scion really hasn't been in many team fights. It's usually him ganking or him failing to gank and getting killed really quickly. So he hasn't gotten maximum Unending Despair value. He's now building Spirit. Is he building?
Yeah, probably gonna be Spear Visage. Yep.
I don't know if he wants that. Is it the magic shield item that Canic Rookern? Might be a Rookern.
Yeah,
what
well,
are
you do get
healing off
shielding
of?
from the Unending Despair.
I see.
You're gonna increase that heal
The soul
from
furnace.
that.
The soul.
Yeah,
No,
so,
it's the soul furnace. It's the soul furnace W. So if you have a shield bash, you can get a massive shield with spirit. With spirit's help, you can get a massive soul furnace shield and just slap Corki for like 200. That is interesting, but I kind of don't like Unending first. I'm not gonna lie. It just feels like he hasn't been enough team fights. If he was like ulting in the waves and trying to get these ganks off, I think I'd be more interested. But it looks like Yuumi's Doms is doing the classic, we take third ocean, you take Baron. Unfortunately, this is seen. The Yuumi's Doms are walking up, and instead it's just going to be free ocean. As they get a little busted, they didn't clear out all the vision, and Shen's just going to take this ocean free of worry. However...
Yep, and that's going to be 3 drakes for them.
The gold lead has shrunk. It is now only 3.8. It was above 5,000 at one point. The gold lead is starting to kind of neutralize. And remember, as the game goes forward, the gold leads matter less and less. At 10 minutes, 4,000 gold lead is, oh my god, please make this game end now. At 25 minutes, 4K is still substantial gold lead, but it's by no means like the end-all be-all.
Well, I think what matters more is where is the gold lead, right? And so the gold lead pretty much is going to be in this top lane.
Yeah.
You see about 2,500 gold lead in the top lane, so just over an item or half an item, pretty close to a full item actually. So we're going to see probably Lord Doms coming through here shortly by the Corki, which will then shred the armor of Olaf. And it can make it even harder in those side lanes for Olaf to have any sort of control on the Scion.
Would you consider going the heal cut for Gragas and Tarek, or are you just going Lord Doms to maximize damage in lane? Because you are 1v1ing Scion right now. It kind of feels like a waste.
Yes, you're going to be matching the Scion a lot.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to, personally. It's probably best for your team, though. So I think either answer is fine. Right, okay. I think you can make an argument for both.
Yeah, it's tough because like Taric queues aren't the largest thing in the world at this point in the game. Taric's a little behind. Gragas healing isn't much because it's a full AP Gragas. It's not a tank Gragas, which is fine. But the Gragas passive heal, Invigorating Brew, I believe, is only based off of his max health. So not as much as you'd like it to be. But I don't know. I think you're right with the Lord Dom's call there. As we see a bit of a rotation top, Corky's leaving though, which means they're going to be sorely disappointed. They get a little bit of vision taken out of the top side. However, uh-oh, Naga, are you walking into a gank? Yep, Tristana pops the bomb on, but unfortunately it leads to nothing. You can't really kill Shen here. It's not easy
That's
enough.
a Shen Braum. You're not going to really surprise them in any
By the
significant way.
Shen also rushed unending, so maybe unending first is the meta, and I'm too stupid to see it.
Yeah, I like it. You don't go Sunfire or whatever the other item we can't think on Scion very often. At least I don't see it, just because you already have great wave clear, right? You don't need more of it. So I usually don't build it when I play Scion. Then again, I'm not a great Scion player and don't play it a crazy amount. So
Hollow
maybe
Radiance.
somebody in chat can correct me.
Hollow Radiance.
Hollow Radiance, there you go.
Yeah. Man, that was just... I just couldn't find it. As we see Baron start out of Yuumi's Doms this time, now it's CAD Fire being forced to react. However, CAD Fire doesn't know. Lava Bread is literally backing. They have no move, no prio, no nothing.
And they see the jungler. They see Drew. Drew is fighting Guppy right now.
Oh, that is a bit of a mistake. Maybe not. Maybe you were just going for a play on the opposite side of the map. It's impossible almost to get through those ward lines that Yuumi's Doms has placed. They're back up to a, 4,700 gold lead, and as we say, the time is ticking now. You got your...
well, so 4,700 gold lead.
Yeah, you got
What's
your
it going to be after this Baron,
play.
right? We need them to push their advantage and try to get something out of getting this Baron. I think we see a lot of times teams get Baron and then they don't know what the heck to do with it, right? You need to press your advantages. You need to push waves properly, have them crash at the correct times to get these tier 2 turrets down, because that's your goal.
Hexlith, you've been abducted, my friend. You are dead. Very unfortunate play for him. And Emperor Bandits is not out of the firing line yet, as Shen just eats a little bit of damage, but Tristana's frontlining here. The dragon is up in about 38 seconds. So there's a little bit of time for drag, and this is Soul Point. This is Soul Point Pancake.
Yep.
Which means this Chunky Monkey Naga and this Chunky Monkey Braum are going to be so much harder to kill in a team that's actually been struggling to come up with enough damage to kill their primary targets. And Tristana, if you look at her, she's like full crit. She doesn't have a Bork or anything that'll cut through tanks easy. Which I don't exactly know if it's the wrong idea, but it's just a little unfortunate. Drew lands a beautiful hit. Guppy takes a ton of damage, but look at the Stand United shield. It's just massive. Olafa Bread lands on the wrong side of a taunt, but gets a beautiful unending assault. Is able to hit Corky. Corky, why are you frontlining, my boy? And Skull lands a beautiful right at the arcane to get the kill. Kazakura is now under the firing line, and Shen is running for his life, but it looks like he might go down too. We were gassing up Yuumi's Doms, but look at that Baron power play. It is now a negative 2,600 Baron power play, as it is horrifically thrown by Yuumi's Doms, and the game is just right back where we started. Greater, why did you do that, my man? It's just a disaster.
Yeah, tough positioning there by Greater. Kind of gets caught thinking. I think he thought they had such a significant advantage. He could just kill the Scion very quickly before getting put in any danger, but Scion a little bit tankier than he thought. Wasn't able to punch through the way he wanted to, and then the reinforcements came, right? And you saw the Zerathal come over the top, do a lot of damage. You saw Drew get down his damage, same with Emperor. So damage came through quickly, a little bit unexpected there, but now we're at an even game state. You know, it's 1,000 gold lead, and at this point in the game, 1,000 gold is
who cares? Yeah. But let's look at items real quick. We see that Scion is about 3. We see Corky is also at 3. Is that right? No. Yeah, he's also
What?
at 3. Okay.
Yeah, he's at 3. And then he's got the pickaxe to go with
Okay,
it.
he's a little bit further in.
Yep.
Gragas just
And
bought
he's
full
sitting.
Zanyas. He's at 3. Shen's also at 3. He's got some components. But look at the skull items coming through. He's got half a stacked Dank Seal. He's got a lot of items coming in. It looks like he's building maybe a Rabbit Abadoos. Don't know yet, but he is gonna pump damage, brother. He is gonna
Well, I
pump.
think you got to be worried about the Syndra, right? The death
Yeah.
cap already completed. She ended up going death cap 3rd item for
Mhm.
dominant Yuumi. I don't mind it, right? You need to blow
I
up
actually,
one of
I,
these targets, so
I'm
I
gonna
don't mind it.
I'm gonna do maybe a, what shall I say, controversial call. I despise it. I think not having Azanias against Gragas Tarek as Syndra here is actually just griefing. I really hate it. I really, really
I
hate
think
it.
it's hopefully that's what's coming through next.
Because
Obviously has a piece of
explosive
it has
cast
the
means like
codex.
your goose is cooked.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
and
just me
we've
though.
seen actually a lot of good forces of will. That being the E, or excuse me, Scat of the Week being the E, that has kept this Syndra alive, right? Building some distance and getting some space. But you're right. That's probably not going to be enough in these later fights as we go on.
It doesn't stop explosive cast. And what have we seen every time? You get explosive cast into the team, presumably into a Tarek Dazzle, and you're dead. Uh-oh.
What are you?
Just a jump.
I was like trying to figure
It
out
was
if I
just a
missed something.
rocket jump. I thought I was gonna
Oh.
see a Shen taunt. It was boring. I was gassing up
Yeah,
something that wasn't really happening.
He scared me. I'm like, wait, am I missing something here? No, and for the side of Yumi's Doms, they've kind of gotten into a lull again. I want to see them making a play, right? They got Baron, and then they almost looked like they didn't know what to do with it. They just said, we have Baron. They could have just pushed waves and then ended up going into a dragon, but they decided to just fight, and it kind of cost them huge in this game, right? So now it was able to slow the game down for the side of CAD Fire, letting this Tristana get
Baron up in
more
20,
and more
by the
gold.
way.
As now I just realized Tristana's 6-0-0.
Yeah.
Holy Hannah.
Oh, TP coming, TP coming. However, Skull is getting jumped on by Guppy, but Guppy is way too far. The team has been completely split, and now Silas is in a 1v5. However, Gragas is getting 1v5 on the other side of the map. That might mean it's a jungler for mid-trade. Yep, Drew is completely dead. Do not tell me he gets away. Thank you, I hate that. I really hate how he got so close to getting away. However, Sion has used his Unrelenting Force. Dominant Yuumi has no way to stop the Rite of Arcane going through. They just have to outplay. They do, but Guppy is getting traded off. They went back in. They wanted more. Olaf of Bread, the Soul Furnace is massive. He's able to survive so far. The damage coming through. Corky gets caught. He's been caught by Xerath, and that means he's straight dead. Wow, he does a lot of damage, Emperor Bandits, but it doesn't matter. Olaf of Bread passive in it. It's done out of Skull. Skull, brother, Skull. Why are you doing this? You're so huge. That guy must be extremely handsome to keep doing that. Dazzle comes in, and that means Shen's dead too. And now the world is Cadfire's oyster.
Yeah,
as they're able to take Baron, they're able to take Tower.
Are dead.
Oh.
Yeah, all 5 for dead for the side of UB Dons. Great play, actually. Quadra kill goes on to the Tristana. Very well played by Emperor right there. 11-0 on the Tristana, showing why, hey, Nemo, if you're watching, you might want to bump me up these rankings because I am carrying both of these games. Very well played by Emperor. You gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. And the key there is, if Dominant Yuumi had Zanyas, it's not a big deal. You're starting to see the issue of not having Zanyas against such a pick-heavy team. I really want to give Drew his flowers
There's the arm guard.
I want to give
Arm
you
guard for Syndra.
yeah. I want to give massive props to Drew. He basically held 4 people in place while Guppy almost died. So, really well played out of him. And he's kind of understood that he's kind of the sacrificial lamb here. He does what he needs to do. He wasted so much time with his hourglass. As we see, it is another 4 minutes of mid lane pushing all by itself. However, there are no wards for CAD Fire in the Baron pit. Actually completely trolled. controlled by Yuumi's Doms, and Drew here is in way more danger than he might expect. Yep, there's the Naga
There's
and you are gonna
more members here.
explode, my friend. He gets killed, but the cast breaks greater. Wow, what a flash. Is able to go right past the unending assault by Sion. Sion just into 2, and that will be a second dragon by a second Baron given up by Cadfire. Presumably they're hanging out for more, but I don't think they can do anything about this.
Interesting build note. The Corki ended up going IE. You know, 50% crit at this point. I usually like to see one more crit item before going the IE, and I go at the IE last. As, oh my goodness, scatter the weak into the ultimate. Jeez. Unleash power.
Wait, Skull's caught. Skull's caught. That might just be game.
I don't know if they can end off this. I think they're going to go into Baron.
Okay.
They're going to have to control their mid-wave, double super minions.
Oh,
in the mid-wave,
their mid-wave is too cooked. Oh, you're so right. If the mid-wave was better, there was something there. Tristana kind of hanging around.
Putting out some damage, is all I'll say, with that IE finished. And let's see how much gold. Yeah, he's gonna have a Zeal on back, I hope. Might go GA, we'll see. But, yeah, a lot of damage. Interesting enough, the Zanya's not enough gold, just outside of gold range for Syndra on the Zanyas. So we'll not have that for the next fight, as they have the broken arm or the shattered arm guard. So no stasis for the Syndra, which is huge, because this Syndra ult does a lot of damage. Can pretty much one shot either the Xerath or the Tristana, and even probably do 2/3 of the health of Drew. So as Hexalus just goes bye-bye with that.
He's dead! He's dead! He didn't have his Zanyas, and it killed him! He's gotten completely blown up as Emperor Bandits jumps away, and that's please, never again give Yuumi Stops a Baron buff! Ever! It never works!
I've never seen so much value out of Xerath ults. These Xerath ults are unbelievably powerful, right? Multiple people switching targets. It's crazy. Skull, well played.
Is that game? It's game.
It's
game.
Should be 4 dead. 20 seconds on Dom.
Okay, if I'm Yuumi's Dom's coach, don't take Barons. They just don't work out for you. Oh my god, that is the second loss on a Baron power play. Basically threw the game starting on the first Baron power play, and that's it. It's over. Oh my god, what did I just witness? We were talking about it. I was talking about it, Pancake. I hated seeing Syndra not having Azanias.
Yep.
I hated it because they did so much damage. And what happened to Syndra in the next 2 fights where she had that beautiful Rabcat, but she didn't have Azanias? She got caught and killed. It's just
she was able to get the ultimate down in that last fight, but it was onto the Taric, right? You blow up the Taric. So what?
Taric was in chat
at all. You still have a Tristana that was, I think at the time, was 11-0. Yeah, it's interesting, but I will say they played very good. They made a lot of good plays in this game. Obviously, the kill total was 21-20 by the end of it. So both sides put up a great fight. It was back and forth, but in the end, Cadfire 2-0. They're going to move on to round 2 of the playoffs, where they're going to play the winner of a C22 and Cad's son. So they'll play the winner.
Do we want to see if we can pick up a Cadfire interview person?
Yeah, I'm up for it. If you think we can pick somebody up,
I am up. I'm already pestering them. I have sent something out. I have sent out the call to Cadfire. We will be getting a few soon TM, I promise. But yeah, wow, what a set of games, man. Okay, we've got Hexa.
Oh, good, awesome.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Wow.
Well played. Wow.
Yeah, congratulations, 2-0. Even cleaner than the first time you faced Yuumi Doms. How are you feeling right now?
I mean, other than trying to not fall asleep in the second game, It was pretty good. But
Yeah.
genuinely, all the times that I died was either I didn't have my R, or I was autopathing because I was literally trying to, like, tilt my head up as I was trying to not fall asleep from Yuumi Dom draft. But that's not a unusual thing for this matchup.
Yeah.
So
Um. Ooh. So you guys were a little behind in that game too. You were like 5K gold behind at some point. Um. This is sorry. I should have introduced you, Hexa. This is Tarek and Rel. So the
yes, sir.
support of CAD Fire. What were you thinking kind of when you were behind? And after that Baron play, you guys had a really inspired play around the dragon. What were you guys thinking when you were behind and you were trying to squeeze back into the game?
What's really interesting is like I specifically have never played with an AD carry like in all of my time, even in collegiate. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
even with like playing with like Korean, like I had played with a Korean import. That was pretty hard. Like really mechanically good. This is the first AD carry that has ever been so vocal and has more of a vision on the game. I think AD carry is really hard to like expand your mind on just on the fact that like there's so much small things you have to do well at,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to like build the world around yourself to like explain how you think it should go. Ethan did a perfect job. He was just like, guys, like he has mechanically all of it down, but he's like, guys, like we just need to chill. Like even if they get Baron, it literally doesn't matter because every time they get Baron, it's just for some reason it's like Baron was like a debuff.
It did
And
feel
also we
that
have the
way.
wave clear and we scale. Yeah. So it's like we let him have Baron, it's really not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we had like some split fights that were kind of tough because again, our comp was hard to execute. I picked Tark specifically because it's just easier to handle, but we didn't think it was a Syndra bot. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like hard. But I think it's just I think I give props to Ethan, especially when we're behind, because I know how mechanically gifted he is. Like
Yeah.
if his mind is open and he thinks it's winnable, 99% of the time it is. So props to Ethan. Emperor, by the way, that's the 80 carry. I think he does a really good job of keeping everybody's minds open and being able to say, yeah, we can progress this game, but let's just like chill out a little bit. Which 80 carries usually don't do that. 80 carries usually want to fight all the time. So respect to him.
Um. You had a new jungler. This was your first time, I believe, in a TLA game with Drew. How was it?
Yeah.
How did you feel? How was your synergy with him? I personally think support jungle synergy is just super important when you're trying to, make plays on the game and move the game to the next level, to your next objective, to your next like phase that you're looking for. How was it kind
Yeah.
of trying to sync up with him and make plays?
It was kind of interesting because there's like a lot of like there's different ways that certain regions play, but there are still like core fundamentals, and so communication is like super important obviously between jungle and support, but like there are a lot of things that I didn't have to communicate. A gank happens bot, cool. We insta go invade, we insta go get vision. Um, we have a wave push, we get prio, we insta both walk towards scuttle. Like there was a lot of things that I didn't have to say, and it was pretty unbelievable. Like
Mm,
I remember like the first 15, like actually the first like 10 minutes of the second game, and
mhm,
and they told me not to say this, but like the first 5 minutes, we didn't
mhm,
hear our jungler talk. And the second game, his
mm.
mic was messed up the entire time. But we
Oh my
played it
god.
like like he passed, like it worked out. I think we got a gank bot or maybe a kill, maybe some flashes. We immediately rotated. Like in that second game, like for 5 to 10 minutes, he didn't have a mic, and
Mhm.
we didn't realize. And we were like, we haven't heard our jungler in a while. We typed to him, and then we had to pause. And I'm like, just the
Oh.
fact that that can happen, that like we were already on the same wavelength. I think just goes to show how well not only that he knows like the support, like what the support needs, but then more intentions of like we got to win like a small win here. How do we like
Mhm.
take it somewhere else?
Very interesting. Yeah, it looked like you guys, especially in game one, you made dominant Yuumi extremely miserable. You were just spam ganking them under tower and making them just I don't know if I would have wanted to been dominant Yuumi in that game. I would have hated it.
Yeah,
Even on Zaya, who has the Feather Storm. Um
yeah. Which I was tilted at the beginning of that game. I was very. I took spellbook, but it got auto swapped out. Then I start the game and my monitor's like black, like turned off. And I'm like, dude, at this point, I just want to FF. Again, props to Emperor for keeping me cool. He's like, it's chill. Like I was super tilted, and again, like it's hard to break that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
especially in like those first early levels. Like I'm like jumping in and taking a lot of damage, but again, we break out of it. We come back. They did a really good job drafting in game one. We thought it was a Morgana support. I drafted Rel for the shield break because Rel's Q can actually break the shield and stun through it. That was the reasoning for it. Then they picked Nami, which is actually a good counter pick. I just don't think that the knowledge was there for how the counter pick works, so it worked out.
Very much did. Pancake, before we kind of wrap up, do you have any questions for Hexa?
Yeah, I do. So in that game two, I think that was definitely a closer game, obviously, than game one. So they get that first Baron, right? What are your comms like when they do get that Baron? Are you looking to make a play? Are you looking to just stall? How do you guys react? Because twice in this game, as Pike talked about, the enemy team got a Baron, and you guys ended up wiping them, right? And it flipped in your favor, and it was a negative
Right.
Baron power play for them. What are your comms like initially, the moment after you hear that sound, the Baron roar, enemy team has slain Baron? What's going through comms?
I think that was the first time that we had started a drag, or they had started a drag. We said, let's just see, and if they'll actually react. So we go to start Baron, they react, we back off, and then I think we take a recall, and then Shen like solo, or he doesn't solo it, but he takes 3, and we were pretty surprised.
Oh,
Like
him
it
and
was kind of
Scorpy, yep.
yeah, it was kind of like one of those like like okay, actually didn't think that was gonna happen. Um, we were kind of surprised, and then like that's where like the scrambling part happens, especially when people do it off vision. So we kind of scrambled, not gonna lie, to figure out what to do, like because cross mapping it does give you gold, but like we're waiting to like scale honestly. So at first we didn't really know what to do. Like I think Drew was telling us to cross map, which again that's obviously the automatic response. But the big thing was like we just need to hold waves. Like we can scale. Like when we're on 5 and we play for Emperor, like it's not bad. Like we just have Skull in the back on the Xerath. Unbelievable ults, by the way.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I've never seen
You
so many
mentioned
ults
that on
been
the
hit.
broadcast. That was
Like
the fact that he was able to go from one target to the next, to the next. In that last
right.
fight, hit 3 different targets with his ultimate in that last fight.
Right. So like the big thing was like, okay, like we have deep push. Like I think we scale pretty well. Let's just play. Like Triss is gonna play. We need to put bodies in front and keep Skull in the back. And so then I started to ward proactively to figure out where they were, so Skull could sideline a little bit. And then we had to like bring our wards back to help Skull be able to not get flanked. And there was only one time it didn't work where we were split on Baron River, and it was 3 of us top, and then it was Scion and Gragas like near the mid lane. That play did turn out okay, but yeah, we just had to realize like we need to be like it's fine if we get put on our back foot. We have the deep push for it. The biggest thing at that point is just mental, like not falling asleep. Like I'm auto pathing. I think Urian was
Hmm.
like messaging me. He was like, "You're just like you just auto pathed and died sometimes," and I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm like it's like a mental block when you play against like mage bot. It's just so boring. But you
I
work your
mean,
way around it. You say, "Stop trolling," like stop auto pathing. Let's figure out how to win. You know.
Yep,
and
and
he
that you
did.
did. You found a way to turn it around and get the 2-0 victory. Next is going to be you're either going to play C22 or CAD Sun. Obviously, that's a 1v8 matchup, so probably going to end up playing C22 side. Anything to look forward to there? Excited, nervous? Any thoughts?
Um, if it's Sun, fine. We'll take a win. Respect to those guys. It just is what it is. We have a jungler now. We were rotating through 3 junglers on the entire split. Um, now that we have a jungler, we're gonna regroup. We're gonna practice, work on some things. Like we have to work on some new champion pulls with the new jungler. I think we can take C22. I think it's a mental thing. I think it's a lot of drafting. Again, I think Ethan is probably the best AD carry in our division, in my opinion. Um, and then again, I think I'm the best support in our division. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm a little bit older. It's fine, is what it is. I have my cup of coffee. We'll take it. I think we'll take it either way.
Love it. It was a 2-1 slight loss for you the first time you played. Looking to change that narrative in round 2 of the playoffs. That's all I got. Good luck going forward, Pike. I don't know if you got anything more.
No,
But
no,
well
no,
played
no.
today, Hexa.
It was great to watch you, especially game 2. That's so hard sometimes when
Yes.
you like can't have the same success you did game 1. You're playing against a mage. It's just a lot
Yeah.
more
And you have to
obnoxious.
regroup your mind. Like
Yeah.
when you don't progress early, and you had a game before where you did really well, it like sucks. Some people
Yeah.
just mentally shut down, which I had to break out of that. I'll be honest, I fell into it probably mid game, and you have to bring yourself back out. That's probably one of the best mental trainings, like mental endurance, that people can work on regardless of the role. So
Yeah. Well, it was great to have you on. Best of luck in the um best of luck in the next round
Playoff.
of playoffs, and I cannot wait to see you guys at it. I will
all right,
talk to you in a bit.
yes
Great
sir.
talking to you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Hexa.
Okay. Guys,
Awesome.
we are going to be back in a little bit. We are going to take a quick second to regroup. I need to go find a drafter link and a lobby, a tournament code, and a lot of other things and get myself ready for this next game, reset everything up. But we will be right back because, believe it or not, there are more series happening. So we're going to take a break. I will get the deets for you later, but I believe we are doing, if
MNAS
Monster
versus the
wasn't
Penguins.
lying to me, Mid Never at Scrims versus the Penguins. And I believe they start at 9? 9?
Yep, so 10 minutes from now, but it
Yeah.
might be a little bit late waiting for us. We're going to get that set up and try to bring that to you here in just a little bit.
So yeah, take some time. If you need to go to the bathroom, if you need to listen to some music to get me screaming out of your head, or anything in between, please do that now. We will soon be back. And we will be talking about an Elder division, one of the last bastions of Elder. They are the only ones who I believe are not in playoffs, if my memory serves me correctly. So this is another seeding game before Elder hits their playoffs. Yes, the lucky Elder, they're going to get all the last playoff games, and we're going to have to be spamming Elder at the end of this year. But yeah, another important game coming up, Mid Never at Scrim versus Killer Penguins. I believe this is Mid Never at Scrim's first stream appearance, so I don't know how you feel about that, but that'll be fun for you if you're one of the people or you're in stream or something. Good luck. I might glaze you, I might laugh at you, even though you're probably better than me. And yeah, but for now, we will be back. We're going to take a quick break, guys. We just gotta get through our get through all our chores, do our league stuff, and we'll be back. See you later. Hello, hello, my friends. It is I, Pike Wazowski, and I'm back for a double header because I cannot punish myself by just doing a best of five. Oh, no, 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 no. That is far too simple of a punishment for me. It is a double header, as you will be witnessing mid never at scrims versus the Penguins. So, first thing, massive glaze to the logos, especially mid never at scrims. I really like yours. Club Penguin hype for the Penguins. And we have some first timers on here. I believe this is the first time we are going to see mid never at scrims in the on stream. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. With me here is Olaf of Bread, who just finished playing a game, and since he can't take enough punishment, he's here too. As we're getting started with draft. Any opening thoughts before we get started, Mr. Olaf of Bread?
Um, See, the only two things I really know, or not even two, it's really one. I only know one thing about this, and that Sheila Glass is on Penguins, and
Okay.
and that's about all
He
I know.
he do be there.
I'm already on favor for mid never at scrims just based off of that.
Oh, so
Um,
you're a Shula Glazer, is what I'm saying? Shula Glaze?
I'm a shoe hate watcher.
Oh.
Just because he's always talking the talk and never really backing it up. It seems.
Oh, so you
I
want
think
to
he
see
fell off after
some
draft league.
Yikes! You want to see some walking. You want to see some walking. Well, this will be the game to see it. Get a quick Kiana, Lulu, Cassante ban out of Mid-Never at Scrims. Get a quick Victor, Kate, Syndra ban. And guess who they locked in? Olaf of Bread.
Man, that is a good first pick too.
What a beautiful, handsome man that they've locked in as we see Oriana and J4. First thing, Oriana J4, kind of a devastating double ult combo. You obviously have Command Shockwave and Cataclysm to just light people up. But also, the Cataclysm out of Jarvan the Fourth is one of the few things that actually just straight stops an Olaf dead in his tracks. Olaf either flashes or basically is stuck in the kitty cage. Killy can't do anything anymore. However, you're probably dying to Olaf if you do that, because that is 99% of the time fight you don't want to take. So, I mean, happens, but super interesting picks. Yoni, we get a win shitter. Oh my gosh. And as of next patch, I believe they get what, 5% extra crit damage. So, yay! I love Yoni. uh, we'll
I
see
am
what
liking this
mid.
high damage
Lucky.
draft coming out of MNAS so far.
Wow, Seraphine
Um,
too. Did
okay.
your like go up or down when that Seraphine got like locked in? Because I kind of like Corki. Seraphine is very different from Corki.
I don't think the Seraphine's bad here because you want to make it easy for the Yone to hit an ult slash Q2.
Mm-hmm.
And plus the Seraphine ult really helps a lot with Olaf getting kited away.
Yeah.
As you were talking about, J4 ult does kind of stop the Olaf in his tracks, but then J4 is
Wow.
locked in.
Oh, I actually thought Samira was quite inspired because her she basically has the equivalent of a Yasuo win wall except to surround herself. I can't remember the ability name off the top of my head because I don't remember the last time I've played with a Samira. But instead, it's kind of a safer pick. It's Sivir, who does have the spell shield. She can block the Encore out of Seraphine. But again, if there's an instant Seraphine into Yone ult, you're probably getting hit by one of those two, which is not good for you. So,
Yeah, and the Olaf Yone pick really makes it hard for the J4 and Oriana to like lock down a single champ. You know, you have to
mhm.
pick someone. Do you give up the true damage king Olaf, or do you give up the 9,000 crit strike damage Yone? You know,
Yeah.
but which one are you gonna pick here? So it kind of puts Penguins in a bind. With picking what they can. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fat tank support here just to try to help with the peel a little bit.
Rumble
Uh,
Band out of Penguins is very interesting. Maybe they don't think this Olaf top. They could think it's a flex to jungle instead, which is very interesting. Ashe is gone. That does break the Ashe Seraphine Cancer combo. Leona taken away. Braum comes out. Wow. So Braum's I believe it's Unbreakable completely blocks Seraphine's Encore. It completely stops the wave, stops everything. Obviously, Yoni can move through it because he'll scoop you up and bring you to the back. It doesn't block the Yoni ult, but has a lot of use here. The thing I'm really scared about is one Sivir spell shield is not enough to take an Olaf off you, right? And Braum can't do much either because usually Braum would do it through the you would do it through something like the Glacial Fissure, through the Ringing Strikes or whatever. But Olaf's is just going to Ragnarok. It feels like it's J4 or nothing when this Olaf is diving your backline, and it can be extremely dangerous for Sivir, who is actually quite weak until later in the game. So super interested to see what the Penguins do to bring this draft together as we see Shen out of mid Never at Scrims and Nasus. Wow.
No, dude.
So this is Seraphine APC, Shen support, Nasus top, and that's just absolutely brutal because if you cannot lock both the Nasus and Olaf in, Sivir is probably getting ran down and murdered. That's a lot of pressure on your team. And the Rumble ban actually kind of working against the Penguins now because Rumble's actually pretty decent at denying Nasus early stacks. So right now, everyone's losing to Nasus. Let's get it correct. We see Camille. Camille? You are the top lane guy, Mr. Olafa Bread. Please tell me about a Nasus Camille lane because this is what I'm assuming we're going to see.
If Camille knows how to handle this wave management fine, this lane is awful for Nasus. I mean, it's hard for you to keep your passive going. The Q2 on the Camille Q is really, really damaging to the Nasus. And with her being able to keep Nasus away from wave, he's not exactly able to stay in the lane as well he'd like. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see like a 200 stack Nasus at 15 minutes here where he's really, really far behind until Camille's forced to go do literally anything else.
Interesting. So it is Nasus Camille top, J4 versus Olaf jungle, Yoni Oriana mid, and then it's Seraphine's Shen versus Sivir Braum. Just taking quick look. Let's not Shula Glaze right here, or hate watch or anything. Which comp do you like better on paper? Because I think this is actually a very interesting draft.
I like Mid Never at Scrims more, not because I'm a hate watcher. Shu's a really good ADC. I will give him that. I'm just but Mid Never at Scrims draft is you have to pick someone. If Nasus is behind, that's fine. He still is infinitely stacking. The Olaf Yone combo is really, really tough, especially with, I mean, Olaf jungle here is not a bad pick in my opinion.
No.
Now Braum does kind of set back Seraphine a lot. But I still think it's okay because you're gonna have the Shen, you're gonna have the Olaf, you're gonna have the Yone ult, which I mean, what's Braum gonna do there? And then you have Nasus's, he has an exhaust on a 7-second cooldown with his Wither. Which really, if Sivir can't time her shields right, it makes it really, really hard in the team fight stage. I think this game's gonna run through a Camille/Oriana combo, and I don't know if it's enough for the Yone, the Olaf, and the Nasus, and even a little bit of the Shen damage too.
Yeah. It does really feel like there are two champs that you really want to J4. Three. You want a J4 ult, Seraphine, so she just gets killed, right? Because she can't defend herself in the Cataclysm. She's just dead, right? You want to hit Olaf or Nasus because they're going to run into your backline and murder them because Sivir's going to eat ye old 75% attack speed, move speed slow, and then she's just a complete waste of time and dead. And it also feels like Ragnarok. With Ragnarok, Olaf can run because even if your Sivir spell shield blocks the first axe, there's a second one coming. He's going to pick it up and keep running at you, right? So, very interesting set of picks here. It's gonna be, I think the thing I like about Mid Never at Scrims is kind of what you said. It feels like the Penguins have to execute here, and even in Elder, which is one of our, I think it's highest division. Yeah, Elder is our highest division. We're all human, and sometimes the draft benefit for me is just the one that requires less execution. Because when you're playing against someone at your level, sometimes the thing that loses you the game is just someone has something that has less of a mental tax, you have something that's just harder to execute, harder to play, and that kills you. It just kills you. So it'll be a super interesting game. Certainly here, we'll be spending a lot of time looking around. I think the two big things is where are Olaf and J4 pathing to what lanes do they want to affect first. If I'm J4, I really want to make sure Camille gets ahead. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I might actually throw something Nasus's way if Camille knows how to kind of bounce the wave and get Nasus into a sad position. And if I'm Olaf, you kind of have the decision, do I want to protect that or do I want to try and make something happen elsewhere on the map? So I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, and another thing to look at too, Penguins, I mean, or Mid-Never at Scrims, I mean, they're kind of a AD heavy team outside of, like Olaf, True Damage. But the Seraphine here, Seraphine does do quite a lot of damage for, a more Enchanter-based character. And I think with her poke, there's a lot that can be done with that because you're not going to have too much sustain or a way to negate it outside of Brahm's shield, which if Brahm throws the shield, congratulations, Seraphine's ult's now open. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough way to navigate it unless Mid-Never Scrims has someone who just loses all their hand. And, maybe a meteorite hits their house or something like that. So it's going to be a really good set of games here to see how the shot calling goes down. It's going to be a good set of chess, basically. We're going to be watching, top tier Grandmaster chess play here, just see if what can go through.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little hashtag blessed as an E4 getting to watch some Grandmaster Masters play, and it's a lot of the little things that they're better at. That you just don't really think about in your games. Some stuff to us that's on autopilot, they put a lot more thought and granularity into. So I really can't wait to see. I really will be looking hard at which team is which jungle is going where, and kind of looking to see who can affect the map first, because I do think the junglers are super important here. Yeah, I cannot wait to we cannot wait to watch. So guys, we're going to take a really quick break. The spectator delay is about another minute. We are going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back when the game starts. I cannot wait to see it, fellas, but we'll talk to you in a little bit. Hello, my friends. We are back. Mike Wazowski, why is the game paused right now? Great question. It's paused right now because there was a less than 5-second pause at the beginning of the game because the Penguins and Mid-Never at Scrims kind of hates me. And we're right back in it. So we are gonna get started, guys. This game is beginning. On the side of mid Never Scrims, we have Namarka, Mike. Someone's in streamer mode. I would like Mr. Monster to ban them from the tournament immediately. If I check my notes real quick, the mid laner playing is... Sorry, I'll get that for you in a second. I've already forgotten. It is
ADM Gap or APM Gap.
ATM, yeah, APM Gap, who is certainly reported and will get a strong talking to from the moderation team for what they've done to me. But we have APM Gap, Bagels, love Bagels, and Sporting. On the side of Pengu, in the top lane, we got Ragoon 1201, got Liver, Dat Perps, Shula Glazed by me, and Bob Killer 521. And Shula Glazed already walking up and getting really nice harass, maximum boomerang value. However, she eats a quick taunt from Shen, and all that good I was talking about was just taken away as both carries need to eat their potions. Just a nice sharp opening, and Bagels, you need to start dodging winter spites, my friend. Oh. In the top lane, we are looking actually at a push. Nasus has been forced under tower, which means this wave is most likely going to bounce, and look who is pathing topside. Olaf of Bread, J4. We were kind of talking about it in the mid game, as I suspected, is heading top to really try and keep this Nasus down. The Camille has set up a bounce. The wave is gonna bounce out, and by the time J4 finishes it, if he times it aggressively enough, this might be a Nasus under threat.
Yeah, I don't know if this early of a gank's gonna be worth it, because you're not really gonna push too much back onto the Nasus to lose stack wise. I mean, Camille will get a hell of a CS advantage here, but I don't know. If you're playing this Nasus, you're going to have an idea that they're going to want to keep you down, so I truly do think that he's not going to get punished the worst out of this.
Okay.
He might just get, completely cucked on the freeze and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
if that's the case, it's GG.
The freeze is beginning, by the way. We have seen the bounce has been successfully done. However, J4 was really slow to the draw, and actually is unable to contest the scuttle. Olaf is getting the first scuttle, and on J4's timing, he's gonna have to go down, which means this freeze is not gonna successfully happen. Olaf is coming up to stop the push. At the same time, wow, it's not even gonna get frozen. Ooh, will it?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it will. It's gonna bounce properly, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
she
3
broke
minions
the freeze off the E proc.
Oh, okay. Not... Again, tiny things, but so important for Nasus here. As we see, Shula Glaze does get the spell shield, so she's only slowed off of the Seraphine double E. 40 does go in for the Shadow Dash. Bob Killer is actually in quite a bit of trouble, taking a little bit of damage, but Bagel decides to double Q the Sivir instead. Yone, at the same time, that E damage is stacking up, Perps, and yeah, you're dead. The E pullback just means you get killed, and the first blood goes to Yone. Here's Mike, Olaf coming in, and a beautiful flash Shadow Dash guarantees that Shula Glaze is dead. The hate watch begins. Mike comes down, takes a lot of damage from J4, and I believe this might be a 2-for-1 trade. Yes, it is.
And that's just a really good counter gank there from Liver, the J4. I kind of thought that the Braum was going to go down there with it. Obviously not, but J4 really good at stacking up the Braum passive, because he has a auto cancel on his Q, which means you basically get 2 procs off in about half a second. Shula Glass picks up 2 assists there, gets his Cole, gets his longsword, gets his dagger. I think the wave state, or not the wave state, the lane will start to be fine for him here. It can be rough with the little amount of sustain they have.
Yeah, absolutely true. I think the really sad part is I don't think this Camille's pressuring Nasus enough yet. I don't think he's nearly miserable as he needs to be. You were talking about maybe a gank would be that productive early, but you need to constantly be looking at Nasus. He's already at 62. If you're looking at the UI, look by Nasus's portrait, the top number by where his teleport is, that is the current amount of siphoning strike stack. Okay, Nasus at 62. He is actually at a pretty decent pace of stacks right now. Not the best, not the worst, but it's pretty good. They both hit 6. And we might see a fight break out, but Nasus just TP'd back into lanes, and he's already got a Glacial Buckler, so he's doing pretty well. I'd be pretty happy if I was Nasus right now, I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, you're not down 40 CS. You're about to get ganked here from the J4, it looks like, but I almost wonder if he can
Yeah,
win
he's
out
going to
on
get ganked. Yep, there it goes. The Nasus immediately uses his ult, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Liver does not have Cataclysm, but oh wow, was a lot of damage. Ragoon able to land the hook shot and just gets the kill with Hextech Ultimatum and hookshot by herself. Fury of the Sands, not enough armor and magic resist yet. Now Nasus gets cucked out of a wave and it starts looking slightly grim. Not completely over yet or anything, but that's what I wanted to see out of J4. I wanted to see him. You need to keep this Nasus off balance and uncomfortable, or this game's just going to be so miserable for you. Mike, on the other hand, does get his compensatory steal of the camp. You can see he's up a camp already. But J4 is not done with the kills yet. He has warded out Try. He sees that the Pixel Bush and River's nothing. And the CC has already been taken. The Cataclysm lands too. Brawl flashes in. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Glacial Fissure to follow up. But you just took bot lane's flash. Bagel's flash is now down. That's very ugly. Because the next gank, you're not going to have it. And if the Cataclysm lands like that again, you are screwed, friend. Mike finally lands 6 as the dragon comes up. We see that the dragon is starting as the directed camera feels very interested in showing us a whole lot of Nasus getting bullied by a Camille at the moment. Mike has found his way in. He is now the person on top. Liver is getting eaten by an Olaf with Ragnarok right now, and Yone is just doing so much damage. Liver manages to dodge the Olaf Q. The Reckless Strike does come down. Is that an axe? Yes, the axe hits. He's dead. Bob the Killer now the one running. Olaf unable to pick up the axe, so the cooldown is still high. Dat Perps decides he's had enough and walks out. Actually, a really nice stalling play by Mike and APM to get this game, get the dragon stalled out long enough for the team to come. 40 now has 6. Ragoon needs to get out or he's just straight dead. Yes, he's able to, but it's already starting to get gross. Nasus at 100 stacks. The smite comes out from Olaf, the dragon is gone, and Nasus is still farming. Yone's also doing well, and this game is, I don't know, to me it feels a little mid-never at Scrims favored.
Yeah, and it's feeling that way for me too. And that dragon fight there kind of shows what we were talking about in draft, where you have to pick between a Yone and an Olaf, and it's just kind of like, 2 for 1, die for the other, type stuff. It's really hard to pick. Who do you lock down here? Who do you try to take out? Because both those guys have a lot of, damage upkeep. Get away from everything. Yone with his E, Olaf with his ungodly amount of lifesteal, as lower health he gets.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough for, Pengu here to, especially after like the 15-minute mark, to figure out what do you do.
Beautiful spell shield to block the second proc of the Yone Mortal Steel. Unfortunately, because he was soul unbound, he's just able to walk away. Cashes out about half of Sivir's health, so I'm not sad if I'm Yone at all at that. Bagels lands a nice EQ combo onto Dat Perps, and yeah, it's just chilling. Just chilling. And unfortunately, I think Chillin's just kind of mid-never at Scrim's friend at the moment. The hook shot comes out. Yeah, I don't think that gank's working from Mike unless you're willing to commit to a dive. APM goes in. Orion's going to eat a ton of hate. She blocked the second Mortal Steel, which makes the trade a little bit better, but not the greatest. Bob Killer is hanging around in the bot side, gets a good, decent ward, so they will know Olaf's direction for the rest of this. The Grubs were taken by mid-never at Scrims too, so they are certainly up a little, though it is only a 500 gold difference at the moment.
And it's starting to get a little worrisome. Your NAS is already at 160 stacks at 9.5 minutes. But he's starting able to trade back with the Camille real well, and that's when it starts getting worrisome.
Yeah, if you're not eating like a precision protocol that's not fully there, you're just killing her. Oh no, you have nothing, Ragoon. Why are you taking that fight? There's 2 reasons to hate that fight, Olaf. 1, you don't have mana, which means it's never going to work. 2, guess who's got Stand United? It's Sporty. Now, unfortunately, he's probably watching Bagels die here, Yeah. Oh, he does the Stand Unite. What a clutch Stand Unite, but Liver's able to get it out. Glacial Fissure comes out from Braum. Mike probably needs to Ragnarok and walk away. And the beautiful shield means that Shula Glaze is... I'm starting to glaze him. Oh, shoot! You walk too close! That means you get punished. Sporty actually gets a kill out of it. Not the worst thing in the world, but you really don't want to be trading 3 for 1 like that. However, you're winning in your mid and top lane, so you can't be too disappointed.
Yeah, I still think it's an alright fight there. Obviously not the best, but it's not something like, you know, FF worthy over. NAS is still kind of far ahead. I mean, your bot lane's kind of just there for helping with the peel on your Olaf, Yone, Nasus setup. You know, Seraphine's only down 16 CS at the moment, not the worst, and I still think it's alright. It's not copium.
That's very fair. We see another Camille trade, and these trades by the minute are just getting worse and worse. It's starting to look a little brutal for Camille up there. She is able to get like a half freeze. I think the real tragedy here, look how much damage that Yone does. He is just beating the crap out of this Ori here, and you're making a play on Shen while Yone has Prio. Liver taking a ton of damage. Thankfully, the Soul Unbound hasn't come out yet. Liver trying to run away. The command shockwave goes, but the Plody plant means that nobody gets anything. At top, Nasus is still fighting. Ragoon. Ragoon does land the Precision Protocol for a lot of trade-off damage. However, it's just a lot of damage traded with no deaths. Dragon is up in 45 seconds. Ooh.
And that Yone just did so much damage there for only
Oh
having the
no,
Phantom
Shula
Panther.
Glaze, you need a precision spell shield timing. Unfortunately, you don't get it. You get taunted, and Ragnar rock and roll. Olaf is in. He walks in, does manage to kill Shula Glaze. You will trade your jungler for an ADC, especially when it's an ADC that Penguins have so much priority in. You just get that kill. It's man. It's a good trade-off there. I actually like that as Mike.
Yeah, and you're able to push this.
Oh,
They weren't able to push this wave under, and Yone just absolutely demolishes Orianna under her own tower too.
yeah, that's getting gross. And look, oh, we've reached the helpless phase, man. The Nasus cancer has unfortunately metastasized and become terminal. You're unable to defend your own lane now, and Nasus is just going to start plinking away at your towers. What a beautiful second cast of Mortal Steel to prevent the flag and drag from actually knocking you up under tower. That was really well played. I would keep singing APM's praises. However, he's in streamer mode, so I'm just going to keep calling him Yoni out of protest because he's offended me. The dragon is going down. Mike's doing a good job of taking it, and it looks like Pengu probably correctly decides not to contest it whatsoever. J4 is just going to keep getting camps. The thing I worry about is, like, J4 needs to head top. This lane, I hate to keep harping on it, but we have a 300 stack Nasus at 13 minutes, Olaf.
Yeah, and that's where it's starting to get really, really dangerous. Camille's starting to run into the problem of, can she poke out Nasus in this? Nasus's passive is huge at this moment. I mean, that's why it's getting nerfed. It's going to be really, really hard to keep this Nasus down, which is kind of one of their win cons that they need here, is that they have to have one of these 3 face-to-face melee champs here not be ahead. It's already hard picking between Yone and Olaf, and now you're going to have to pick between Nasus with his Wither in the late game too. I mean, it's going to be hard for Sivir to get around that.
On the bright side, you don't have to pick Seraphine. She's down 1,000 gold and 30 CS. So, I mean, she's basically just an ult bot. Already bought Imperial Mandate, kind of resigned to her fate as pressing the Encore button on cooldown. Basically a double support bot lane with one of them getting CS. Seraphine does not even have her boots yet, I believe. As Olaf comes in, Mike is just like, hey, Liver, thank you for the red buff. Also, I'm going to throw an axe at your head and probably kill you. Yep, there's Yoni. The Soul Unbound comes out. The Mortal Seal comes out. Yoni can just recast Mortal Soul Unbound and get the kill. Gap Perps is literally forced to just watch just watched the horrible thing happen to their jungler without being able to do anything about it. Beautiful undertows by Olaf there, and now Olaf is coming for the dive. Ragoon, you do not know how much trouble you're in. Yep, here comes the Stand United out of Shen, and this Nasus is completely out of control. 340 stacks at 15 minutes. He's going to clap your tower. He's going to find another lane. He's going to clap that one to death too. Sivir is stronger than Seraphine right now. Shula Glaze is stronger than Bagels. Here's the problem, Alafa Bread. Bagels can just press Q on wave, and there's nothing you can do about it. Meanwhile, you cannot stop the Nasus pushing. Bob Killer lands a Glacial Fissure on Nasus, but I honestly don't know if they win this 2v1. The stunts have run out, the Wither's coming, and Nasus is just lifestealing. Yoni comes in, the Mortal Steel hits. However, it does not interrupt the Flag and Drag. Siphoning Strike, definitely going to be the death of Braum here. Yone comes in, Olaf is up there, and this might just be a second tower. Shula Glace also under a ton of pressure. The Spell Shield I don't believe has come out yet. Yes, it just came out, which means the next Shadow Dash is going to land. Shen comes in and gets a block. Another TP coming out. This time it's from Nasus. Guarantees Shula Glaze's death, despite what Orianna might try to do as soon as the Wither comes in. Yep, there's the Wither. It's landed on Shu. Shu, you can do nothing except become Siphoning Strike fodder. Dat Perps is next on the list. The flash comes out. Undertow hits Dat Perps, and that means Dat Perps has nothing to do but sit, dance, and watch their health drain away. Nasus walks up. He's like, wait a second. I should plus 12 this. And he surely will. Dat Perps maybe trying to mind game the kill into Olaf. Nasus comes up and gets a massive, massive plus 12. It is now a 400 stack Nasus at 16.5 minutes, Olaf of Bread.
And I'd just like to say, it's no longer plus 12. It is, plus 10. They tried balancing Nasus jungle, so they buffed his laning phase, which is why we're looking at a 5-1 Nasus Triforce.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really, really hard game to win from this point on from the side of Penguin.
Yeah.
There's just so much you have to do. You don't have a lockdown for the Yone. You don't have a lockdown for the Nasus. I mean, the fact that you can even press W and do something just kind of ruins the team play burden Penguins here. And then Olaf existing too with his 400 or 300, 400 damage, true damage E every second.
Flag and Drag, Shadow Dash comes out from Shen. However, you've just locked yourself in with Nasus, and I don't know if you win this. The Spirit's Refuge comes out from Shen. Basically wastes a ton of time. Mike's now here. Undertow would have hit Braum. Braum forced a flash over the wall. And Dat Perps just doesn't do enough damage yet. Taking a ton of damage. Bengals lands the snipe. And you have a Ragnarok and walking Olaf. And that means Shula Glaze is dead. First one to go down. Undertow now picked up by Olaf, which means Liver needs to find a way out and quickly. Undertow does land. The slow comes through. Liver's being ran down by Olaf still. And that's the third Undertow, which leads to the kill. It feels like the Stand United was more of a I want to be here to push lane Stand United than an actual helping out the team, or maybe he's trying to leech an assist. As this is happening at the top wave, Yoni has just taken a tower. 8 p.m. Turn off streamer mode, my friend. I might love you more if you do that. However, you will remain Yoni. Shen keeps keeps pushing the tower with Mike and Bagels, and unfortunately, despite the valiant effort of Sivir, it just feels like the rest of the game has fallen apart around her.
And I almost feel bad for the J4 Sivir combo here, because J4 is doing what he can. It's just he's not the guy that can lock down. I mean, I'm going to keep on bringing this up. He doesn't have a weight, and look at Yone's damage there. He hits 1Q, W3 auto.
He is he's 6k up, I gotta say. And if you want to call back to the last 2 streams ago now, or it's actually only one, but not a callback to the CAD Fire game, but a callback to the CAD Sun game, he's like 3 Renekton's ahead right now. It's pretty dangerous. APM, this is a little deep, friend. Hashtag I'm stalling it for the dragon. Oh my god, do not tell me that Fate Seal gets him out. Yes, it does. Ragnarok and roll. Olaf running in. The Undertow does land. Liver needs to find a way in or find a way out. He unfortunately cannot. He's forced to win away. Ragoon next on the chopping line. No, it's that Perps. Wither has landed on Bob Killer, which means Nasus is coming down and he'd like his plus 10 this time, and he walks up, does land it, but the Unbreakable blocks the first instance of damage. Bagel's walking up, finally the plus 10 comes through. 468 stack Nasus. Wither does come in, but I believe it was blocked by Shula Glaze's spell shield. That spell shield just saved Shula Glaze's life.
And I almost wonder if it even matters at this point for Shula Glaze's life to be saved.
Oh, that Wither, bro. What do you do?
Like, look at that 95% slow, and what, it decreases attack speed by like 70%
45.
or something like that.
I think it's
45. Oh,
half.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes it so
Yeah.
much better though, right?
Yeah, that just
Shula,
makes it so much playable.
yeah, I feel it feels like twice as playable. Wow, double root. Beautiful job out of Bagels. The beat drop actually lands a double root. Unfortunately, I don't believe it'll be saving their lives. Jordy lands a spirit refuge. And wow, beautiful play out of Ragoon. Uses the Hextech ultimatum to dodge the second part of Mortal Strike. Namarka is doing a ton of damage, but is about to get stunned by the concussive blows. There it goes. Dat Perps lands a beautiful command shockwave. However, they are just straight dead to Nasus. Olaf has decided to Ragnarok and roll, and that means that he is going to run over the back line of Penguins. Penguins is now trying to hold. Liver needs to live if this game is going to go on any longer.
Withered.
He doesn't. Plus 10 for Nasus, and that means I think this game is over, Olaf and Brett. I think Nasus just pushes the towers down here.
Yeah, and as we saw there, there was too many choices for Penguins here to have to focus on. You killed Yone, congratulations. Now there's an Nasus in your face. There's an Olaf in your face. I mean, it's kind of unplayable in the fact that you just don't have a way to keep them out of your face.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely true. As we see this last fight kind of wind down, Nasus not hitting the Nexus Tower because he loves content. Hopefully, Olaf will. Yes, Olaf just simply hits the Nexus and decides to finally win. As all Masters do, half of them DC as the game's ending. You can see their characters walking back. But kind of a just decisive game out of Mid-Never at Scrims, which was a real shame because I was actually seeing a lot of fight out of Penguins at the beginning of that game. Olaf, where do you think it went wrong?
I, as much as I'm not a jungling guy, I almost wonder if it's not okay there for J4 to mirror the Olaf, because I think getting early ganks off on a Nasus is not the move, because your Nasus's Q sitting on like a 6-second cooldown. If you pressure him away from wave, you're only making him drop like 20 stacks, 30 stacks. You know, I think it's worth more to gank a Nasus on the second rotation that you do, because his Q is going to be down to like 3-second cooldown, and you're able to punish, making him drop 2 waves. So now he's dropping 80 stacks instead of, 30. And I'm not a jungle guy, to be fair. I'm a top lane player. But that's why I almost wonder if it was like the opening moves that were wrong. I feel like the Braum Sivir could have had more pressure on the Seraphine Shen. I don't know how, because the Seraphine Shen's kind of just like a rough lane to play into. And then Orianna just not taking any sort of movement speed rune into this team comp, but especially at Yone, is kind of rough. Because there's just so much in your face going on, and Orianna is not able to get away from them in any way, shape, or form.
And you did feel the pressure the Orianna was feeling, and mad props to APM to give me a second. Now I need to yell at him. Sorry about that. I had to yell at APM real quick. We're seeing kind of the fruits of the draft where it felt like there was an execution barrier, right? For Penguins there. And since they couldn't get the game going, since you couldn't get the game going in the direction you wanted to, it just fell apart like instantly. And it was just really well played out of Mid-Never at Scrims. Really happy with Mike's pathing, how he did. He punished at the right times. I think he did have a bit of a rough patch there where he kind of died as 3, but he played it pretty well. Played it pretty well, in my opinion. And I really like, and maybe you could talk about this more, I really like the Nasus play out of Namarka there. Just super well done in parrying the Camille's early pressure and kind of letting himself win all on his own.
Yeah, he was really good at partnering his, broken E, which I think is one of the dumbest abilities in the top lane role in any way, shape, or form. More so than his W, because his W will hurt for your auto attacking stuff, but into a Camille, he's just trying to do straight damage. Camille's not exactly auto attacking you like crazy, and he was really good at, before hitting his Qs, he always had that E down, which I do see a lot of people struggle with. I know it sounds stupid, but I do see a lot of people struggle with being able to place it just right to where you get the full potential out of it. And it is that Nasus Namarka was just doing really, really good at not dying, not not being punished for picking a late game scaler. He was just really good at. He knew when the J4. It's like he had vision over everything. He's like he was watching watching it from our point of view.
Yeah.
He just had a great gank sense coming on, and that's just really well played out of that Nasus.
Yeah, really, really well played. Also, massive props to APM, even though I want to keep calling him Mione. I did yell at him in chat, so hopefully that'll be fixed for next time. Just well played out of everyone on Mid Never at Scrims there. If you were coaching Penguins right now, or if you were like the team leader, what would you be saying to them in preparation for game 2? Do you think like a bit of a draft iffy? Do you think it was just some plays you wish you could have taken back? How are you feeling there?
I would say keep my head high because that team comp that they just went into is a really really hard one to pick with what you guys drafted. They were on a small timer. This isn't one of those like, hey, when we're at the 20-minute mark we can win this. Hey, you're talking like, hey, at 5 minutes we need to be up 6-0. You
Yeah.
know, they had a very small execution range, which is it's just hard to, make people do that. And plus when you have people that have a sixth sense for the gank setup, it is especially hard for a J4 to keep someone down. I mean, you saw he was ahead at the 10-minute mark or something like that because he was doing literally everything he could. It's just what more can you do when you know you have a Yone who's basically just running the rift at one item component. You have a Nasus who just can't seem to die. Um, it's just hard. Not even in the sense of like a skill gap issue, which I
Mm-hmm.
think there may have been some. It's just like you have a small execution window for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely true. The teams are getting set up. APM Gap had to restart to turn off streamer mode so he could stop griefing me. But we are currently get ready for draft. I have not heard anything on who's got what side, what pick. If you are playing Penguins at this point, is there any picks you're thinking about? Maybe something to like ease them into the next game?
I think it's really, really nice that you have the Nasus just out of the game. You have the
Yeah.
Olaf out of the game. I think this opens up a lot of like a Yunara setup. I mean, even a lot of Caitlyn. You can go
Mhm.
into those hyperscalers now without having to worry about, my God, how do we peel these guys? I mean, if you're worried about Wind Brothers in the mid lane, I mean, you still have the Yasuo, but I think Yasuo is really easy to play around. Um, so I would like to see Shula Glass on. He's a real high APM ADC player. So I think you can. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a Yunara come out from the Penguins here, and then you just kind of build around that. You're looking at. I don't even think you need to do a melee support, but maybe a fat bruiser in the top lane, some heavy lockdown in the mid lane. I think they'll be fine from that point on because Sheila Glass is a good enough ADC to carry that type of stuff.
I do want to say he actually played the lane pretty well. Like if you're looking for the positives, if you are a Penguins enjoyer, Penguins, I think personally, had a pretty nice game overall in terms of their bot lane. It really last until basically the end of the game where they were getting spam ganked and killed as a team, was consistently picking up like CS every wave, getting all their CS, had a pretty big gold lead from basically just the CS diffy, and was playing the lane really well. So I do think putting Chilla Glace on give me a second. They are they did not know the first pick rules.
And a split here.
And a split. Did not know the rules. Okay, we're gaming. And they're griefing me. They're saying our draft before they pick sides. Okay, it's blue side again. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're trying to. I'm getting griefed. So it looks like Mid Never at Scrims is going to keep the blue side. It looks like Penguins are going to keep second pick. So we do have the draft coming up. I'll put you guys on the screen real quick. Again, Mid Never at Scrims won game 1. This is a 3-game series, so we are going to see a game 2. If Penguins manage to pull it back, we will see a game 3. If they do not, well, it was fun while it lasted. I'll get two gamers as the Penguins come in. Why would you personally go for second pick here, Olaf or Brett? Is there any reason in particular? Are you, if you had to like counter pick a lane, what are you trying to counter pick here?
I've been converted by Hexa here. I think that you should just fully blow counterpick on your support because support kind of
Okay.
dictates the bot lane.
Oh.
Top lane you are able to blind a lot. I won't say a lot easier. It's just you're able to do it better than you are support.
Mhm.
I think that's huge to have the support on counterpick.
Yeah, especially in games where the tempo is so important and having your support where they need to go is super duper important. We saw that Shen was able to do so much work in that game, right? Um he had multiple United We Stands, got really nice ults off. He did get one just to basically get an assist at the end of the game, but you're memeing for content at that point. And we see a Kate Syndra ban out of the Penguins. We see Cassante, Lulu, and Kiana banned out of Mid Never at Scrims. Victor is the final ban for Penguins, as the first pick is going to come out from Mid Never at Scrims. I think oh my gosh. Call Drew. I think he inspired somebody because we see Lee Sin on the Rift.
That is a very, very ballsy blind into a
Oh my god.
Wukong.
Is that Wukong and Lee? Is this deja vu? Do I need to is this a recording? Is this a rerun? Do I need to change the stream?
I feel like this is the first game from CAD Fire that we're rewatching here with
I
the
know, except the Wukong
blind
was
first pick
top.
Lee Sin. Hey, you never know. It still might be. I mean,
Yeah, fair enough. Wukong gets picked by the Penguins here. Presumably it's jungle, but we did see in the Cat Fire game that Wukong can go top. It did not win, but I wouldn't call it the only reason they lost. So, second pick coming in. What are you picking here if you're the Penguins? Oh, never mind. Spoiled for me, Nautilus. So against the Cult of Hexa, the Nautilus gets shown very, very early by the Penguins, which means Mid Never at Scrims gets to now forge their bot lane and choose how they want to respond to the aggression that a Nautilus usually presents in the lane.
and it just feels so brutal to blind pick a Nautilus like this. Nautilus is very easy to be, countered. I
Yeah,
mean,
do
you
you
get
think
the
it's just like
Milio.
Emilio? Yeah,
Yeah,
soccer
like
ball
Milio
him.
would not be bad. I mean, you can even go a counter engage here, which does better than Nautilus.
Leo?
Yeah, you can do a Leo. I mean, we got Jin coming out here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Emilio now.
Kind of interesting to see Jin. When usually you try to pick ADCs who have like some form of escape versus the Nautilus. Instead of seeing the support is being saved for later. We might be seeing Jin Gurgot here. Another blind top lane pick. Very interesting. And Mid Never at Scrims cannot ban before the top counter pick goes. It is a Nautilus Kaisa. Very interesting. So Nautilus is actually an expert at stacking second skin stacks for Kaisa, because if you QW to get a quick auto off, you put 2 plasma stacks on them. That with an Acathian Rain and an auto from Kaisa basically means that guy's getting a second skin within like half a second of getting hit. So it can get really brutal really quickly if the Nautilus is able to CC you because his auto applies a root. So super interested to see what Mid Never at Scrims does. And the Penguins don't ban. And I might need to yell at them in chat.
Penguins just got the confidence where they don't need to do that other ban, you know? Still seeing nothing out of the talk of the ban here. I think Urgot's a really ballsy blind to do for the top lane, by the way.
Alistair ban.
Alistair ban out of the Penguins.
Okay, so you were talking about how both disengage. They didn't know they got it back. Perfect. Okay. So Alistair just really good at parrying Nautilus and also converting pressure onto your ADC. Leona also, we talked about one of the ways to beat Nautilus is to have an even heavier engage. So Leona gets taken away. Swain and Ari taken away by Mid Never at Scrims. We see Mbessa and Urgot. Not yet locked in yet, but we see Mbessa. How do you feel about? Oh, hold that. It is a Kali. So Kali could be top, could be mid. The only thing I don't like here is I really wish there was kind of more front to back potential here, because you have a not Kaisa and Kaisa can output so much damage. So how are you feeling about this, Akali? I'd really like to hear your opinion.
I'm really hoping this isn't an Akali top, because if it is, I'm of the mindset that Urgot's good into the Akali, because Urgot E pulls Akali out of Shroud.
Mhm.
Wait,
Oh, is that
What is
Urgot?
going
They
on here?
they they flex the Urgot mid to beat the Akali. It's Scion top, I
Well, I mean, we
think.
got 2 top laners in this game, or we're stat checking the hell out of everyone here.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just covering their bases and gonna run the gamble on the Kali going top or mid.
Mhm.
Either way, or Scion's fine mid. I'm not saying he's the best mid laner in the world. But the Scion mid is just fine into this team comp here, because what are you gonna do?
Yeah, the only thing Cassio.
Okay, hold on.
Scion
Yeah,
support? Mm,
maybe Cass. I,
Listen, I've
I'm,
played
I'm,
it. Oh,
I'm. This is something.
uh, uh,
My
you
brain hurts.
know,
My low elo
y-
brain can't take this.
I don't know. Hui mid Akali top. Hui mid Akali
Yeah.
top. Okay. Um, we are gonna get a roll confirm because I did yell at them last time to roll confirm. So all will be clear for us. Well, maybe not clear, but all will be said for us soon. Let me tell you, this is about how I felt in the CAD Fire versus Yumi's Doms game. This is a top Scion Urgot support in mid Cassiopeia versus a top Akali mid Hui jungle Pantheon. Olaf,
Y-
what is happening right now, brother? I need an adult.
I am perfectly fine with the tech that's being cooked out of the Urgot support. Urgot,
Okay.
you're able to buffer the Nautilus hook and kind of
Oh.
stopping his engage, and Urgot's gonna struggle for the first probably like 3 levels, in my opinion,
Mhm.
even up to 6. But once he gets that 6, the engage that comes, or the ability to deal a ton of damage with the Urgot ult, um, Jin just has to focus one person, more than likely the Kaisa, and Urgot ults that Kaisa, and then it kind of just becomes a cooked game of Jin's running 500 movement speed.
Mhm.
Kaisa's not able to move because she's been Urgot ulted, which slows you like 30% for, I think it's 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you have the ability to buffer the Nautilus engage. It's not as bad as you would think. I don't
Mhm.
think it is the greatest thing I've ever seen with my own eyeballs, but it feels fine.
Okay.
Um, and then you got the Scion top, which is just fine, into Akali, because like, congrats, what do you do? You
That's
know?
just a nothing burger, is it not?
Yeah. It's a boring burger.
Oh, okay.
It's not a nothing. Urgot has, or Akali has the ability to kill their Scion early, and
Okay.
then once Scion gets Negatron cloak or whatever it's called for 850,
Mhm.
Akali's just kind of
I
see you
see.
later.
I see. I see. I see. And how do you feel about the Lee Sin here? Kind of the last wild card.
Ah, you know, it's a champ that was picked. I don't think it's good or bad. I think
Okay.
it's fine in this comp. Wukong engages, you kick Wukong away. Congratulations.
Certainly. Guys, the champ select is just ended. We are about to wait for spectator delay. Give us just a little bit, about 2-3 minutes, and we will be back to you with game 2. I cannot wait to start this game with you, especially with the cooking I'm seeing bot. The chefs, Your Honor, have come in, so I really can't wait to see this. But again, we will be right back after just a short delay, while we wait for the client to load and the spectator delay to end. See you in a little bit. We are back, my friends. The game has just started. We're 30 seconds in. See a little bit of action out of Mike. He is certainly going to let Liver know that, hey, I'm here and your jungle isn't free. Bob Killer actually went with the sweeper first, able to delete a mid-bush ward that was put down by Urgot as Urgot plays to defend the counter invade ward, which means both guys know where the other's going. It can generally be assumed that Lee Sin and Wukong are both pathing top to bot here. However, Lee Sin has the Raptor ward, so he will know the timings of Liver a lot better than Liver knows the timings of Lee Sin unless he's used to playing the matchup. We see Sporty trying to help with that early wave push. Usually you want to, as a support, aim for the second wave because it's a little bit more important because you're trying to get level 2 second wave, right? It's a race to level 2 to see who can get the engage first. So I am more of a proponent for level 2 using my support item, but he does get it just to get that initial push off. As we were talking about, Urgot has a bit of a struggle, levels 1 to 3, compared to levels, past 6 or so, when he's just a lot tankier and harder to kill. In the meanwhile, we have Cyan and Akali trading. Before I say anything else, allow me, friends, to introduce the two teams to you. On the sides of Penguins, we have Namarka top lane on Cyan, Mike, the Lee Sin jungle, APM Gap, yes, you can see his name on Cassiopeia mid, Bagels as Jin ADC, and Sporty as Urgot support. On the other side, we have Raccoon top as Akali, Liver jungle as Wukong, Dat Perps almost dying to Cassiopeia mid as Hui, and Shula Glace as Kaisa ADC. Then we have Bob Killer as support Nautilus as we see a DC, and then we see a pause. Woo! Pause time! Bots, run an ad right now.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful? I love pauses.
It's gonna be and then we're gonna get hit by the right special, the second pause after the game starts up again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do get the Riot special. Again, remember, when the game freezes after this pause ends, there's nothing we can do about it. Okay? It's just a glitch in the matrix of the Riot spectator. It tries to resync time and it's going to cause another pause. Also, the wards, I don't know if in spectator they still show random values, but I fixed it. I personally have a plugin that fixes it, so it doesn't show at value at when you break a ward. That was still a bug as of latest patch. These things we try to work around, but we can't fix. So I don't have a plugin that fixes the lame pause system and the fact that it desyncs my game and causes it to cry and scream and hate itself. So, little unfortunate. On the bright side, we're seeing kind of generally equal game, nothing too interesting yet. Olafa Bread, what do you think the lane, which lane do you think is the focus here for either team?
I think this mid lane's going to be the biggest deal here because if either one of these champions gets fed, it's kind of unplayable for the other team for the most part. Cassio has a really good trading pattern in a way, from what I know.
Okay.
The top lane kind of pretty nothing burger going on there. In the bot lane, I mean, there's tech being cooked. So maybe
Bob Killer, you just got flung, brother, and now you are not Bob Killer. You're Bob killed by Urgot. As a beautiful disdain just yoinks him right over, and the Rito approved pause comes after the death. Wow. That is a crazy game. Oh my gosh.
And that's what I was talking about there. Urgot's E is kind of broken in a sense, in my opinion, with how he's able to buffer CC that comes towards him. Because if he starts it before the CC hits him, he does not get CC'd for the most part. I know there's some hard stuns that'll do stuff to him, but stuff like that where the Nautilus is autoing him, and he had the E procced already before he got hit, but then the Nautilus hit him before he goes through with the dash, and it still goes through. And that's why I was saying this Urgot pick into the Nautilus is not that bad of an idea.
Wow.
Hoping they can kind of punish it.
Yeah, very interesting. I think part of it was Nautilus was just walking up way too close without, you have to remember that Shula Glace's damage maximum, yes, it's higher than Jin, but not in short trades, not at all. Because Jin can very easily stack his 4th shot, the disdain from Urgot comes out, and then he gets shot in the head for a lot of damage. Meanwhile, when you're playing Kaisa, you need to stack second skin. You need to land a Cathy and Reigns without minions being there. Much harder for her in the early game when she doesn't have items to get the procs she needs. Mike is hanging out. Ragoon already forced to flip away. The Sonic Wave lands. She is in the smoke for a little bit. Gonna probably live. Mike actually taking a lot of compensatory damage from Ragoon there, as Ragoon's like, how about you eat a few kunai? And yeah, just a bit of a trade in the top lane. However, Lee Sin should be fine. The Iron Will, of course, will help him heal off the jungle camps. As we see the bot lanes both, well, not both. We see the Pengu bot lanes try to get out of there. And it looks like Mid-Never at Scrims is going to get a tempo advantage back here. Yep,
yeah, and it's starting to look really good here for the Mid-Never at Scrims. They have CS advantage in the mid lane, which is huge. Scion's not down 20 CS, which is really, really huge here. And as we see, Scion's got the Negatron cloak already with the refill pots and the biscuits. I mean, this could be a hard lane.
Yeah, look, Akali's already got Faded Ashes, man. That's just brutal. You don't want to be building that.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be that bad. It feels like the Jin and Urgot have more tempo than the Kaisa Nautilus, which I think is gonna be big here because the Lee Sin, Cassio, they're gonna want to fight. They're gonna be ahead, which I think they're gonna be able to just fine here.
Oh, Liver comes in. APM gap actually needs to run. The Cyclone, fortunately, is not up for Wukong. He needed more camp, so he's unable to get it in time. But I think if Liver had Cyclone there, that was a dead Cassiopeia. A bit of a bold ward. And Wukong now heading to the bot side. Mike spotted out. However, oh, what a flash! Beautiful disdain. The Kaisa is already flipped over. There goes the 4th shot from Jin, and the dubstep ignite gets the kill. Wow, I thought the play was over when the deadly flourish missed. However, a flash disdain from Urgot makes everything happen. Scion forced to use the unstoppable onslaught to try and get out, taking a ton of damage from Ragoon. But here's the big thing: he's not dead. He is not dead, Olaf, which means in the end, it's an advantage for Mid-Never at Scrims.
Yeah, and if it was any other champ, this Akali would be just kind of running the lane here. But Scion's just got so much built in, health, and he's got the Negatron, which helps a lot. The ult's kind of huge, and I don't know if Akali's gonna be able to keep this Scion down. This dude's just gonna be, he's always gonna be pertinent, no matter what stage of the game.
Yeah, very, very, very true. See Liver kind of clearing while the Lee Sin was eating, sorry, not Lee Sin. Mike was eating a tempo loss, taking the dragon. Important part here, Bagels is hit level 6. He is the first person to hit level 6 in the bot lane. 40 is not even close to 6. Shula Glace is like maybe this wave off. And Bob the Killer has not even hit 5. He is not even sniffing the sniffing the pits of level 6. He is so far away, which means we might see a Fear Beyond Death from Urgot way before we see a depth charge from Nautilus, which just feels so dangerous.
Yeah, and it's starting to get a little worrisome here. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but you've got Urgot getting both of these kills, and with him being able to get into the phage and able to build damage to keep up with the leveling that happens here, it's now you have 2 main damages in this bot lane instead of 1 utility, 1 damage. Because Urgot's passive procs with his W, it's like 6% AD damage with every one he does. He can get 3 off pretty easily. It's going to be hard for Kaisa to even stay in this lane without any sustain, without any way to, do anything about an Urgot in your face.
And you were talking about the Negatron cloak. You know what's better than 1 Negatron cloak? 2 cloaks, as you see 2 cloaks. Another one, as Scion is just getting so chunky, and Akali's actually starting to struggle to trade with him. The Soul Furnace shield is getting pretty massive at this point, and you can see the point strike is not doing much damage to Scion at all, and she has to wither the decimating strike back from Scion if she wants to make any play. She is walking up, does manage to get the Assassin's Mark off, do a little bit of damage. However, Namarka is just so dang tanky, and it feels like that one grass proc already won it from him. He uses the Unstoppable Onslaught, gets back in. Kali forced to use a perfect execution to get out. A beautiful trade. And now Liver's in trouble. Mike is looking for a Sonic Wave. Don't believe he's going to get one. But Liver forced to pop both procs of the Cyclone to keep himself safe. Look at how low Akali is, but Scion's low on damage. Does he get the Soul Furnace off? No, he does not. He is still chasing Akali. Akali's enjoying being an energy champ, stuck against a champ with mana. However, one more auto and Scion gets this kill, and Akali is chopped down in her prime. While that happens, Liver, against all odds, after getting bullied a little bit by the Lee Sin, gets caught. Dat Perps gets caught, and unfortunately, brother, you were unable to flash while you were sitting on the Stinky, the miasma that Cassiopeia put out, and by the time he was able to flash, it was way too late. The damage had already been done in AP and Gap. Picks another kill in the mid lane.
And it's starting to look real rough here for the side of Penguins. You're already down 2.5k gold at the 9.5 minute mark. You've got Akali who's no longer to keep up with this Scion, which is just awful. And you've got, Hui's not able to play in this Cassio. Daria down 30 CS. Cassio's about halfway stacked with their tier. Hui's only got the Lost Chapter. I mean, Cassio's got no damage built, and she's out out trading this Hui. And then, the bot lane's kind of...
Oh my god, look at that top lane trade. You know what's better than 2 Negatron cloaks? A Spectral Cowl and a Negatron cloak. Yes, look at the damage. She just full comboed him and nothing happened. And unfortunately, it feels like that's just going to be the story of her life. Top lane, Scion is just way too fat to be properly punished. And man, that just hurts. I really think maybe you needed to pick something top that could have properly pressured Scion, because it feels like Ragoon is up shit's creek without a paddle.
Yeah, it's not that bad of the lane for the Akali if she doesn't die here. I mean, having an Akali on your team is kind of huge for the fact that you got the Jhin, the Lee Sin, the Cassio, which Cassio kind of shuts down the Akali. But it's not good to be behind on a Scion already. I mean, you're not even out of laning phase.
Oh my god. Fear Beyond Death and Curtain Call both go off. Both don't get kills. But guess who here? It's Mike the Dragon kicks Nautilus back into a Curtain Call, and he's just straight up dead. However, that means the kick is not available if Liver's able to get in and get a Cyclone. The Hui ult comes out. Urgot disdains away. Bagels is able to flash out of the Cyclone from Wukong. The engage does not go through, and everyone is safe at mid, never at scrims. The Spiraling Despair. Sorry, Hui. Oh no, Shula Glace a little too close. Oh, barely manages to dodge the Jhin hit and is very lucky to be alive. The Deadly Flourish probably picks up the kill there. Lee Sin still hanging around, seeing if he could get anything. However, I don't think without Dragon's Rage he can do anything. He really needs to kick Nautilus into Shu if he wants to get the kill. Unable to, so they go back to chilling out. Overall, I think it's just a little bit advantage for mid never at scrims here.
A little bit. It's almost looking hard to contest a Drake. I mean, you might... it's not. It's hard. It's just kind of tough for the fact that, Cassio is so far ahead. Urgot is just running this bot lane. I mean, he is the ADC and the support. He is everything that they need. And Akali's not gonna be able to keep the Scion down either.
Yeah, I think I need to pick up Urgot support. I think I need to be one of those guys who watches a stream and then tries something and fails 15 times, because this guy is really inspiring me on Urgot. Next time I see a Nautilus, I'm just going to insta-lock it and not think about it too hard. Also, well played out of Jhin. Lands the Deadly Flourish. Urgot comes in with the Disdain. I don't think it's going to happen, yeah. But look how scared this Nautilus has to play. Jhin popped Q, W. Urgot popped W and E, yet Nautilus still did not feel safe to go for a hook under tower because of how strong this Urgot Jhin is. And look who's coming for a potential dive. Mike is looking for a Sonic Wave over the side. Deadly Flourish does land, but they do not want to kill the Nautilus right now. They're looking for Shula Glace. Curtain Call comes out. Bob the Killer already starting to tank the first 2 shots of Curtain Call. Wow, what a beautiful Sonic Wave out of Lee Sin. And Shula Glaze just takes Lee Sin to safety. He doesn't even take any tower damage from it. The Dragon's Rage is still up for Lee Sin, I believe. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, which means the fight still might be on. APM Gap kind of separated from his team here. Gets a beautiful petrifying gaze, which means Bob the Killer is just completely unable to defend himself. The Perps is now under a ton of threat. Lee Sin goes in, kicks him away just to do the damage and lets APM Gap get the kill. Bro almost walked into the double way queue and died, but fortunately he is able to live, and this game has just gone from bad to worse as you see Namarka just slamming the tower and getting free grass procs off on this Akali.
Yeah, and it's after that fight there, it just the hill starts getting taller and taller to climb. I mean, Cassio's so far ahead. Lee's now at 3 kills. You know, with the 350 gold shutdown, Urgot picked up another kill, has finished his Black Cleaver, which just kind of destroys the whole point of Nautilus here. And the fact that Kaisa is just not able to maintain...
He's got Blood Song too, by the way. What a chat.
I mean, Kaisa is not able to maintain the damage that is coming out from this bot lane.
Oh, Nautilus lands the Q. The Dredge line does come out. However, guess who's here? It's Urgot. Deadly Flourish comes out. Disdain throws Nautilus over the wall. Nautilus, unable to defend himself, is just killed instantly. 40 does land the chem tank onto Shula Glaze, eats a Cathian Rain in response. The fight ends there, but that just shows the power of Urgot. You literally landed a dredge line on the person you wanted to, still got punished. Now the Curtain Call comes out. The Fear Beyond Death might come out too. Yes, she's slowed. And Jin says, no thank you, that's mine, I'd like that. As the Fear Beyond Death is unable to drag in the corpse of Kaisa. Wow. This bot lane is just, it's gone to an unmitigated disaster level for Pengu as mid never at scrims takes the tower. Now they're going to go mid lane, start pressuring that. And Cassiopeia is feeling pretty decent as well. She's up 27 CS and is doing great at the moment.
And this almost makes you wonder here, Pike, are top laners broken champions? I mean, these guys are supposed to be, you know, not okay into the poke comps that come out here, and this guy's kind of just running the bot lane like he was made for being a support.
APM Gap coming to punish the Akali top. Akali does eat the Noxious Blast from Cassiopeia. Oh my god, the disdain. Oh my god, the disdain. Oh my god, the disdain buffer means that the dredge line means nothing. Nautilus is able to get away. Ragoon is now getting ran down by Mike, and with the... Yep. Sorry, bro, you're just dead to the fangs. I'm about to say, with the Tempest Cripple, he's able to see where Akali's going. TP coming in. Cassiopeia is TPing to the tower behind them, which means now they have to run. Bob the Killer and Shula Glaze now running for their lives. Noxious Blast lands on Kaisa. Dredge line lands on Cassiopeia. It's now a 3v4, and there goes the depth charge, and you just flashed it into your Urgot. Why are you doing that, bro? Petrifying Gaze comes out. Dragon's Rage comes out. Lee Sin certainly going to die here along with Cassiopeia. No, he is able to safeguard away, but a beautiful QW from Dat Perps to pick up 2. Mid never at scrims just goes a little too far, a little too fast, and they do get punished. Oof.
And that was a really good play, or a really good fight out of Penguins there to be able to pick something up when you're already so far behind. There's just so much that they were able to do there. They were able to isolate the Cassio and the Urgot away from everyone. Lee Sin just not able to pick a good choice to target here. Sion is somewhere on the map at that point, so it was a really good fight to pick there and to get some of the shutdown gold back onto you.
The Archangels has finished for Cassiopeia. She now has a fully stacked Archangels, which is now Seraph's Embrace, and her Rod of Ages is just a couple minutes, 3 minutes away. Just popped to 7 stacks, I believe. And this game is still pretty brutal for the Penguins, but I really like to see that fight in them. Bob the Killer, who was really struggling in the early game, did not hesitate to throw the dredge line when he saw his opportunity. Massive props to him for keeping his composure, and it looks like he's now going for flank angle on Sion. Don't know if this is going to work as well as the last one did. Sion is quite the chonky boy, and it looks like he's just trying to get some vision as the dragon looks like it's going to fall to mid-never at scrims.
And that's still rough for the side of Penguin there. I mean, you're looking at, was this going to be a Mountain Drag Soul? Which is not
Scion
something...
with Mountain Soul is just yikes.
Oh, Scion and Urgot with Mountain Soul. I mean, Urgot's going to be dealing so
Oh
much
my
damage here.
god, look at
later in
that
the game.
Akali's health. She's getting deleted. Namara's like, ooh, I want to keep Namarka. Yeah, I want to keep going on this. The Shuriken flip is able to get a little bit of distance. Now there's 3 people top lane. However, spoiler alert, Urgot's here. Oh my gosh, he's able to dodge the Fear Beyond Death, which means he's not dead. Mike is now going in. Liver's Clone is going to take the first few shots of Curtain Call. However, it's not over. Shulaglay's taking a lot of hate. Wukong, you need to get in front of your Kaisa there. And she just dies because Wukong refuses to defend the Kaisa. Just a little bit weird there. I believe dies to DFT from Jin. Yeah, it looks like a DFT kill. And now Bob Killer is on the Benny Hill theme song angle. Sonic Wave lands, which means you're almost certainly dead to Lee Sin, brother. But it was a good run while it lasted. Manages to waste a little bit of time trying to fancy feet Mike. Gets a root. Finally dies to the Tempest. But man, it felt like Penguins was kind of onto something and it just all falls away again.
And it almost feels like the game just had kind of returned to its normal state. I'm of the opinion that Penguins shouldn't have picked up the kills earlier. It was just kind of a misplay on the side of mid-never at scrims.
Yeah.
But with how much damage this Jin's just able to do with the Collector and the Hubris, I mean, what does Kaisa do? Kaisa is almost in an impossible state here. Hui is trying her best to do something.
Oh, APM gap. You were a little too far, bro. Wow, Petrifying Gaze lands on 2. Wukong does need to chase us down. Dat Perps is walking. He might be able to pick. Oh, he decides a QW. I think that was a bit of a mistake. Now the chase continues even longer. APM gap. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful EW out of the way to make sure that Cassiopeia was forced to run. The eye would have absolutely caught Cassiopeia if he stayed. Now the dredge line goes in on Mike. Shulaglaze still hanging out. Does land the Void Seeker. Mike now running for his life. Gets a beautiful dragon kick into a Sonic Wave on Shulaglaze. Just downs on him. And now a teleport is coming in. Curtain Call opens up. Urgot is on the way. Namarka's on the way. And now this turns into an absolute disaster over chasing a Lee Sin.
Yeah, and I mean, congrats, guys. You sent 4 people. You killed Cassio, but there's 4 other people on that, on mid-never at scrims that are able to rotate into where they need. Scion picked up a tower top, which I mean is already worth just off the Cassio kill. But then they get a plate, and then they go and get 4 kills there. It's just not a good look there for Pengu to even do this.
Yeah.
Play.
And look at Mike, man. He's just feeling himself. I think he's probably dead here because he's playing against an Akali who doesn't have to kill a Scion who's freaking massive. APM gap is walking. Noxious Blast comes out, but Nautilus is close to here too. Does she have enough room? Yes, the Shuriken flip means she is coming back. She might be traded off, but that's a beautiful kill on Cassiopeia. Gets the kill. She is gone for 40 seconds. It is now a 4v3 on the map for Penguins, and they need to decide what they can do with the tempo they have right now.
And even with the Cassio and the Lee Sin down, I think it's fine for them to be doing what they want to do here, because who's gonna kill Jin? Who's gonna dive the Jin? Who's gonna take care of Urgot? I mean, they can kind of do what they want here because Penguins just doesn't have enough damage to take care of the 2
Oh
front line
no,
here for
Deadly
Jin.
Flourish comes out, Fear Beyond Death comes out. Fortunately, Shulaglaze does not take any damage past that. They are trying for the 4v3. Wukong does get past Scion, is able to get a Cyclone off. However, I don't know if it's going to matter. Namarka is almost certainly going down to Shulaglaze here. Bagels is now caught, and he will die. And the 4v3 finally comes through and does give the kills that Penguins needs. Now, you need to back and get ready for a dragon. You can absolutely not afford to give up any kills, but Mike goes too far. Gets a beautiful Dragon's Rage off and almost kills Kaisa. Cassiopeia is now back here. A 3rd TP has hit the tower, Mr. President. Here's Akali. She gets destroyed early by the Noxus. The miasma by Cassiopeia preventing her from dashing, but she is able to walk out. Shulaglaze looking at a flank angle, thinks better of it. Now it's up to Penguins. back, get wards, deny the Mountain Drake. If they get a Mountain Soul, this game is unplayable for you nearly. You need to back, get wards, and prevent the Mountain Drake from coming up while this Lee Sin is still down. Wukong's got a very late back. They need to take care of the top side. There's 2 people taking care of the top side right now. That feels like a bit of a mistake. The Penguins are now walking out mid, trying to reestablish mid prio. Mid Never at Scrims is already in the river and taking care of the Penguins' wards. The wards start to go down. Jin is a very slow ward clear. However, Shula Glaze is walking dangerously close to this. Beats a cast. Sion's coming up. The TP comes. Quay is now TPing. It is a outnumbered fight right now, but Bagel does a beautiful job dodging all the Hwei abilities. Hwei needs now to run from the curtain call. He eats 2. The Fear Beyond Death does land, but I don't think it did enough. Urgot now walking back. Liver way overextended. Mike's here. This might just be a punishment. And Urgot lands the Fear Beyond Death. No, he dies to Liver. Wow, what a play from Liver to save his way. Quay does end up dying to Lee Sin, but the fight continues. Namarka gets in with the Unstoppable Onslaught, knocks up 2. APM gap on Cassiopeia is now walking back. Akali needs to find her way out. She's unfortunately been put in jail. She has been grounded by Cassiopeia. The poisons are starting to bloom, and this looks like a wipe from the Penguins. Yes, you did kill Cassiopeia, but Mike and Namarka are still up, and this is almost certainly a Mountain Soul for the Penguins.
And that fight is going like 4 different directions in the span of 15 seconds with everything that was going on. I thought the Cassios go down sooner than she did. Sion's just not killable, it seems, and the Lee Sin there doing a huge amount of damage. That was really well played from the side of Mid Never at Scrims there, not allowing Penguins to come out on top with that fight.
Late smite out of Mike, but who cares, bro? He's all by himself. 40 is already setting up wards around the Baron, and it looks like the Baron is the next objective that Mid Never Scrims are looking for. I know this game feels really out of reach, but I want you to consider this, Olaf. It is only a 3k gold difference at 24 minutes. Only a 3k gold difference. So it's not as out of reach as you might think. Certainly not as out of reach as the last game was, because you're not staring down the barrel of a scaling Nasus and Olaf. So this game is playable. Lee Sin will eventually fall behind. Oh, the Sonic Wave stops Bob Killer's reset, and I believe he is completely out of wards to put down. That is just a tragedy. Bob Killer definitely needs to find his way back. 40 is walking up, and the wards continue to fall. This is how Mid Never at Scrim sets up the team fight they like looking for. Cassiopeia a little overextended, but she's got the Raw Eyes, which means Liver is unable to find a Cyclone that would actually do anything productive. She's able to walk back. Ooh, sorry. Almost had to sneeze there. Turned into a cough. I was yapping too much. As we just see backs and resets looking for a setup around the Baron.
Yeah, and with the Kaisa having 3 items, it's going to be really, really hard if you don't kill this Kaisa early into the fight to win the fight at this point. I know Kaisa's not really going to be able to take down the Sion, but Sion's not going to be your damage dealer here.
Mm-hmm.
You will be able to do a lot of damage to the Lee Sin, to the Cassio, to the Jin. And Hwei should be coming online soon, hopefully. I mean, she's got the 5 stacks on the Dark Seal, which, I mean, at this point in the game, who cares? But
Perps, you might be in trouble, bro. Sion's running at you, and this is starting to look a little ugly. Perps takes a ton of damage from Sion. It's just not safe for him. Just completely unsafe for him to be hanging around here. Sion tries for the Decimating Smash. I don't think it matters. Ooh, yeah, not able to land it. Very, very, very close. The Deadly Flourish comes out from Lee Sin. We are seeing fights blossom around the map. Curtain Call comes out. It actually feels like if Wukong walks in, he might eat a Curtain Call, but he doesn't. Miasma comes out, unable to stop anything. Shula Glaze and Bob Killer stay safe for sure, but Shula Glaze takes a horrible angle. Unfortunately, just a little late, unable to find their way back in, gets cut off by Namarka. This is almost certainly a Baron. Don't you think so, Olaf?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a Baron here, and I almost want to say it's going to be game. I don't know how you're going to be able to stop Mid Never at Scrims here with having Baron.
Oh, an APM gap just gets a bush cheese miasma. Means Nautilus can't even dredge line for the punish. He does land the dredge line in the end, but just look at the amount of damage he's taking. He's just completely chunked. And you were watching APM gap delay in a 1v4 scenario. The depth charge goes out onto APM. The MNAS is smited by Lee Sin, but APM gap is almost certainly going to fall here. No, the Dragon's Rage comes out on Kali. Kali is now the one that's in a ton of trouble. The Despair comes out onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin is now walking after Hui. He's unable to safeguard to the ward, and the fear makes the Lee Sin chase end for all purposes here. However, Nautilus is dead. What angle are you taking there, Hui? Maybe he had to walk back to dodge a Sonic Wave. That just real unfortunate. And now the 5-man push is beginning mid. Olaf, this might just be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty doomed here for the side of Penguin. It's rough for them to win a fight at this point with how fat It Never Screams is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Scion is tanking 2 tower shots and hasn't touched tower health bar yet.
Oh, Shu just gets immediately jumped on and murdered. Just the story of Shu's game here, just really unable to deal with the losses that were in other portions of the map. And this looks like it's going to be it for us today, fellas. We'll get a quick talk in, hopefully, with the mid-never at scrims as we can. But yeah, this goose, or Pengoose, is cooked. The game is over. Just a tough game out of Penguins there. However, this is not the end for the Penguins. I do have to say. This is not a playoff, so they're not even in loser's bracket at the moment. In fact, this was just a seeding round. So Penguins have plenty of opportunities to try and redeem the unfortunate circumstances that kind of dogged them these 2 games. But it was really well played out of mid-never at scrims. What are your thoughts, Olaf?
Mid-never at scrims looked so dominant, man. I don't know what was going on with the side of Penguins. They just seemed to be a little misfiring on the draft. It kind of seemed like. I mean, who could predict the Urgot into the Nautilus? To be fair, that was just a serious statement there from Mid-never at scrims. That's all I gotta say.
It really was, and I really liked watching them play and how they set up. They really choked Penguins out of objectives and forced the Penguins to walk into objectives they really didn't want to. And it was just really well played. I really loved the objective play out of mid-never at scrims there. They absolutely played very well. So super happy to see them play. I just think they executed. I want to say they executed the plan they had, which was to really just play quite well and get ahead and just choke people out of objectives. They just executed it very nicely.
Yeah, that was amazing gameplay. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna ask to see if anyone wants to have a quick chit chat. We will see in a little bit. In terms of Elder games, mid-never at scrims has to face the killer Penguins tomorrow, and then let me see if I can find it very quickly. I believe that will be it for the Penguins right now, and then the playoffs begin. So seeding is finishing for Elder. For those of you who don't know, the Archive splits their groups, their tournament groups, into different kind of ELO brackets. We have Scuttle, Krug, Gromp, Baron, and Elder. Total Division is getting ready for their losers playoffs and then their grand finals. Krug, Gromp, and Baron, I believe, are all in the playoffs right now, finishing their first rounds. We saw some beautiful Gromp play out of my friend Olaf of Bread in CAD Fire. Got his first playoff dub, I believe. And Elder is a little bit slower. They just had a different amount of teams, and they are going to be kind of a couple weeks later than everybody else. So I hope that explains it for you. They had 10 teams. The other 3 had 8, and Scuttle had 6, which is just kind of why these things worked out this way. So what does that mean for you as a viewer? Well, you're going to see playoff games again and again as people start trying to lock in their path to victory. And it's just super important. Each game is going to start mattering. You are going to see a lot of the middle 3 divisions as well as Scuttle, because the longer you get into playoffs, the more important their games are. You're going to start seeing elimination matches. You're going to see a lot of people kind of playing to keep this tournament going. Olaf, when is the next time a tournament starts? I believe it's like months from now. So you're kind of stuck if you get kicked out here.
Yeah, you gotta be sitting around having to play in our for fun stuff that we got coming up. I heard we have some really good ideas cooking. Don't know what they are. I'm not in that loop. But yeah, after the split, I think the next one starts in January. I might be wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Again, not exactly in that higher echelon of people that make choices here. So yeah, if you get kicked out of here, you can probably go healthily uninstall League and go get a life for a little bit, and then come back around January right after Christmas, boot up your new PC, and get right back into the League gaming. Really.
Yeah, yeah. Don't think I got any takers on interviews for Mid Never Scrims, so that's fine. Certainly gonna start October-ish, I was told by the archives. So we're gonna get in October. So you're stuck for like a couple months. Not gonna be a fun time. I am playing in the believe I'm Gromp, one of those two. I'm Krug, and Olaf Bread is Gromp, so we watched one of the higher leagues. We will certainly be playing. If you hate me and you hate my guts, please watch my games and flame me. Jungler Cat Ice here. Cat Fire top laner, also watch him. Uh, Great games. Before we leave, I'd like to remind you, if you're new here, please go to the archiveslol.com. You can see at the very bottom of our page here. Super important. That place, you can find the Discord, you can find all our socials, all of the schedules of like what games are getting streamed, what games are in progress, what games are being played. You can find that all on the Discord, on the announcements, okay? We will try to keep a schedule up to you as much as we possibly can. The Discord, however, is not just tournament things, guys. Once the tournaments end, we will have in-houses, we will do for fun stuff. There is a ton of opportunities to go and have a great time on the Archives Discord. Again, you can find that on the website. Please go there, guys. It's super worth it. Not only do we have League of Legends, we also have plenty of people that play Rainbow Six, have plenty of people that play zombies, people who, actually can aim a weapon, unlike myself, who played way too much League and is terrible at aiming and gets yelled at by his friends. We also have coaches. If you are a League player looking to get better, you saw these Masters player, you saw some, mid-never at Scrims Gaming, you're like, how can this be me? We have coaches who are, former collegiate players, former coaches, and just all around great guys who are willing to help you out. So, highly recommend you hit the Discord. We would love to see you there. Love to see you on the next Twitch stream. We will get a schedule out as soon as we can on the next few games that are going to be played. Ooh, wait. I might need Monster to drag someone. I am not a mod. Ooh, wait. I got it. But yeah, we're gonna get a quick interview and then we will finish everything and get out. Let's see. Let me get him here. Let's see. Is there anything you want to say, Olaf, before you got to get off real quick? I know you need to bail out.
Yeah, I gotta go be a dad. My kid really would appreciate a good bedtime story read to her. But no, those were some really dominant games from Mid-Never Scrims there. Sheila Glass just put in the unfortunate situation of it's just team capped and draft capped in a sense. Really excited if these are your middle of your pack elder teams. I can't wait to watch some more on what the upper of the pack looks like, what they play like. But outside of that, really good games out of that. I gotta go be a dad, so I will talk to y'all later.
Yeah, we're gonna try just a second to get an interview. I'm not a mod, so I can't move people around. But thank you so much, Olaf. I loved casting with you. It was a great time. For the rest of you, I will really try to get an interview in. I'm gonna try and fix that real quick. I jumped to them, but yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. While I'm fixing that, again, please, I would love you to take a look at the archives, guys. I'm on the website right here. We have all the divisions available for you. We have the division stats, the player stats, the bracket for the playoffs. This is the bracket for the Gromp Division playoffs. CAD Fire versus Yuumi's Doms was today. They won. We held a watch party for 3 Cost and Crankers. Crankers actually lost 2-1. Kind of an early favorite. That was the 2nd seed versus the 7th seed. Nova Glitch managed to take down Silverbags 2-0. You will see games. The times here are not the actual times the games will be played, but they are the default times, okay? So you'll see there is a lot of stuff going. We look at Krug Division, that's mine. You can see Cat Ice beat Storm by a couple, and we've got dubs. We got a dub in ours, but it was a little tough. Please take a look. And if you're asking, well, Pike, how can I get into the Discord? Go to the home. All our socials are up here. You simply click the button. You get into the Discord. We will do interviews some other time when I get into the playoffs and when it's not so late. I have burned my voice out, unfortunately, screaming at these games, talking about stuff. We will see you all later. I hope you have a really good night. Have a safe weekend and have a great time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.